Hello, guys.
Hi. Welcome to the show. We have a lot of things to talk about today, but the first thing I want to talk about as we kind of have people filtering in on the live stream, twitch.tv/thecomics is that we finally got to 500 subscribers.
Ooh.
Small little clap for the pals. And that's a clap for you guys listening as well, because you guys made it happen, and we are so thankful for that. But shout out to the one person who took us to 500, right?
Yep.
And then reeled it back in. They took it back. They took it away.
To be fair, I don't think that was the same person.
It
could have been.
No, I don't think it was. I don't think it was. I checked the followers and they were still following. So somebody saw me tweet like, hey, he wants to be follower 500. And then somebody respond with, yeah, I'll do it. Get us to 500. And then literally within 2 minutes, unsubbed to bring us right back down to $4.99. You know what? Do we have a supervillain in our midst?
We might.
See, I thought it was Murphy, which plays. That dude is a supervillain in the making.
Yeah, but I don't think he pays attention that much.
That's true. By the way,
some sinister kind of motive, you know. It's probably Marco, honestly.
If you're in the chat right now, say hello. Let us know who you are from the Discord if your name is not immediately apparent. If you're not from our Discord, let us know where you got us from. Why are you here? Obviously, you're here to hear us talk about things like X-Men 92, things like Spawn, Leslie Grace, the new Batgirl costume. We've got a lot of things to discuss. In our main topic, we're going to be talking about the one, the only, the canceled baby, Geoff Johns, and whether or not the end of his reign is here. So we've got a lot of cool stuff to talk about today on the show. Yeah. You don't think he had a reign?
I think he had a reign.
I mean, I don't know. Reign just sounds way too strong, in my opinion.
Really?
I don't know.
For his tenure at DC?
Tenure, fine. Tenure's fine. That seems more cordial, you know, or normal. Reign is just a little aggressive, in my opinion.
I don't know, man.
Did you hear what Geoff Johns was accused of doing? My man had a reign.
To be fair, that was a little later, which I would call a reign. Very dictatorial for sure.
Absolutely. By the way, shout out to Jonathan Hickman. Tyler, if you have an image of Jonathan Hickman readily available, throw that up, because
I don't, but give me a second.
That's okay. We do have to thank Jonathan Hickman for the fact that we got to 500 plus subscribers. We're at 504. They keep pouring in. Thank you so much to Jonathan Hickman. We're going to start just putting his name in everything we do. So the title of this episode will definitely be, is the reign of Jonathan Hickman, or is the reign of Geoff Johns at an end / Jonathan Hickman.
Hashtag
and then then the thumbnail will be Geoff Johns in the corner and a massive picture of Hickman.
Yeah. Jonathan Hickman in the Batgirl suit?
You know what?
God.
So it's funny you mentioned a creator in a suit that a character they drew, wore. My friend commissioned Ryan Brown, who is one of the artists on God Hates Astronauts with Charles Soule, to draw Charles Soule wearing the Harley Quinn Suicide Squad outfit.
Wow.
So my friend has a commission of Charles Soule.
I think I have seen that. I think I recall that.
And then he got Charles Soule to sign it. And I remember Charles Soule seeing that. His you can tell like his spirits just dropped. He's like, oh, I gotta sign this, and I'm wearing fishnets. It's pretty good. It's pretty good.
I have to sign this, and I'm wearing fishnets. I love it. So again, you guys have been super supportive. I do want to let you guys know how you can support the show further. We are on the road now to 1,000 subscribers. And we all know that when we get to 1,000 subscribers, Cale will have to do a backflip. This is a community mission. We need this video. Backflip. If you want to see on TikTok, on YouTube, on Instagram, video of Cale doing a backflip live, you need to help us get to 1,000 subscribers.
Well, okay. I was going to say, if we can do it, if we can get to 1,000 in the next 6 months, I'll do it on the show. If we do it in the next year, I mean, I'll do it and then we can play the clip or whatever.
Sure.
But
I just need to see it.
Yeah. We do it in the next 6 months. I'll do it live.
Oh, Bill O'Reilly style. Okay.
We do. You got it. You got to do it live. You got to do it live. That's how we do things now.
Well,
6 months, baby.
Whenever we talk about this, I just remember that one scene in Futurama where Hermes is about to like commit suicide by jumping off the building.
Yeah.
Bender's just like, do a flip.
As people continue to roll in on the Twitch stream, make sure you guys are shouting out who you are from the Discord. Say hello to us. Let's get some conversation going between us. Of course, make sure that you guys are leaving us a follow on Twitch as well. Leave us a follow, a rating, and a review wherever it is that you're listening to us, whatever podcast hosting platform that happens to be. Get ready for our Saga book club in our Discord, which, by the way, there is a link to that in the description. We have lots of conversation going on about Saga in the preparation for the book club. So take part of that by joining our Discord or just getting ready yourself by doing your reread. Speaking of Saga, we have a special surprise that Cale is going to do for the one and only Matt Murphy. Matt Murphy has a fetish. This is a former Midtown Comics worker, so I totally get it. He has a fetish for unboxings of comics, unwrapping the plastic. And so as you can see on the screen right now, if you're watching on YouTube or on Twitch, Cale is modeling the Saga Slipcase container. Look at that. It's beautiful.
Rub that cellophane near the mic, Cale. Let's do that. I want to hear that ASMR there.
ASMR, please.
Nope, not working. All right, well,
a little bit. No? Okay, well.
It's pretty loud for me.
You need one of the mics with the ears attached to it.
Yeah. Oh, hang on. Here we go.
Oh, there we go. There we go.
Marco and Madi are in the chat, by the way. Oh, go ahead, Cale. Do your thing, man.
I wore a Swamp Thing shirt in honor of our dearly departed Marco. So.
Oh, I hear that.
All right, that's getting
a little
actually really uncomfortable.
That's a little X-rated, dude. Please. Go ahead, unbox it. Do your thing.
I've got my trusty box opener.
Oh, be careful.
For non-violent.
Yeah. I'm Puerto Rican, so I always carry one of those.
I just carry a gun.
They have open carry in New York City.
No, but you know.
We have breached.
Oh, that box cutter getting real close to that bug. You're freaking me out, Cale. I will say the slipcase cover that they have on that watercolor of Gus and Friendo, great cover.
I don't know what the other side looks like.
Oh yeah, because there's a paper.
You can see there's art.
Ooh, this is supposed to be a
art prints. Yeah, so I don't know what it looks like.
It comes with art prints?
Yeah.
Oh, nice. I'm just a weirdo who has the hardcover collections.
So guys.
Oh, boom.
Okay,
there it is.
The turtle's gonna die now. Oh,
here we go. I still haven't looked.
Oh, it's the variant from number one.
That's pretty good.
There we go. Yeah, that's good.
Wow.
I feel foolish for buying the hardcovers.
Sean.
Dang.
As that one little taco girl once said, ¿Por qué no los dos? Why not both?
That little taco girl.
Yeah.
Wow. All right. You know why not, dude? Because I don't feel like it. Those are trades. I like hardcovers.
You heard it here first, guys. Sean likes it hard.
Listen,
if you know, this came out just before Christmas too. Ooh, baby!
That's beautiful. That's Congratulations to you. How much did that cost, by the way?
I got it on the UK's Book Depository. So I got it for £70. Normally it's 125.
Oh,
retail is $125. So I basically got it on sale for a good, 30-40% off.
That's pretty good.
You're a lucky guy. Let's hit the comments a little bit from Beyond the Stars, aka Catherine from Discord. Thank you for the congratulations. We definitely can make it happen in 6 months. It does depend on how invested we all are and how much of a push we make to make that happen. You would probably love Saga, Catherine. I think it's a tremendous book. I think you would get a lot out of it.
I haven't seen anyone not like it that has read it.
Yeah,
I've seen people not read it, because of just generally apathetic of the, the art or whatever. But for people who have read it, it's pretty unanimously like, at least, yeah, it was good.
Yeah. So now that we're in the comments, why don't we just get into the comments? Let's read. We've got quite a few comments. The first batch is all about Hickman. There was a huge response to our Hickman conversation, whether it was on YouTube or on Reddit where we posted it. So just a lot of Hickman talk. Take it away, Tyler. Or actually, Cale. Cale's in the
So this one is from the last 2 episodes ago, episode 271.
Sorry, it's from the last episode. I screwed up.
Oh my gosh. The comment is from Justin. He says, I think it's too early to really say whether or not the Hickman experiment was a success or not. Partially because I don't think he's done enough with the line. No, because I don't think he's really done with the line. Jay and Miles Explain the X-Men did a follow-up episode with Hickman after the final issue of Inferno, where they ask him if he's done with the X-Men, and he goes silent. It's not a good sign for our year-end.
I don't remember what I said on that one, to be honest.
As stated before, the other creators and Marvel weren't ready to move on to what he had planned next. So I imagine he's just taking a break to give them more time to tell the stories they want to before his next phase. However, if he isn't planning to come back and rein in the line again, you can judge whether or not it's a success by whether Marvel continues to build on the new foundation that Hickman helped to lay, or will they just reset to a more traditional status quo as they often do with their books?
So thank you, Justin, for writing in. Appreciate that. I have a couple of I responded to this on YouTube, but I have a couple of additional comments. So too early to really say. You're right. But given the fact
that we do a podcast.
Yes, that we do a podcast and we have to have shit to talk about every single week. And the fact that putting the words Jonathan Hickman and X-Men together is YouTube podcast algorithm money, we had to do it. And we had a lot of stuff to say. I think that main topic ran like an hour. So, clearly we had a lot of stuff to say about it. We had to have that conversation. I'm glad we did. Also, I think to me, right, I feel like we cannot judge the success of the era based on whether or not Marvel keeps it around, because Morrison's era was successful, one of the best X-Men runs of all time. I think that's a pretty unanimous opinion. And Marvel retconned it almost immediately. Like literally the next thing they did was retcon Morrison's run, right? That's just the nature of the beast. Hickman's Secret Wars had a built-in retcon. Like, you're not going to retcon me, I'm going to retcon myself. And that was a success, because if he didn't do that, they were definitely going to retcon him via Secret Wars. So, yeah, I don't know if that's the metric. I don't necessarily know what the metric is. It's personal, which is why we have to have the conversation.
Kefis in the chat just wants to say, hi, I love this. Sean still has a Christmas tree up. So, Kefis, that's actually not a Christmas tree. That is actually Krakoan technology that Sean's taken. So
it's one of the flowers, actually.
Yeah.
The lights are actually connected to his brain. I don't know if you knew about that. But
it's my mutant power.
Yeah. One thing about the Explain the X-Men interview, two things, I guess. Hickman says I don't remember him going silent. I did listen to the after one. And what he said was, I'm done unless Kieran Gillen tees me up.
Oh.
Which I could very well see happening.
If this becomes like a Kieran Gillen and Hickman just like one-upping each other and then like giving each other things to work with, I could be down for that. Yeah.
What if the new status quo for the X-Men goes like the Daredevil one? They always set the next writer up with something absolutely impossible or whatever.
I'd be okay with that.
The second thing quickly was that Hickman said that we will see more Moira stuff in X Lives and X Deaths of Wolverine.
Yeah.
So I'm very excited to hit that.
So this coming week.
Yeah. There's been some like conversation about how this might not be a relevant run, the X Lives and X Deaths. I don't think you shut your line down just to tell some BS Wolverine story.
Do you remember all the tie-in Secret Wars books?
Well, yeah, but the main story at least was,
sure.
you know.
Yeah, sure.
And some of those tie-ins were pretty good.
Oh, I agree. There were some real good gems in there.
Yeah. Why don't you? Well, Tyler, did you have something you wanted to add?
No, I just want to go through a kind of like a rapid fire with some of the other responses to last week's episode. So, Inhuman Union, critically in sales, and that's what matters. So, you know, Sean, you mentioned that, you know, success, or if this successful is more of a personal, you know, kind of opinion, and for Inhuman Union, it's mostly just critical and sales success that he, you know, or they consider, which is fine. Totally valid, which is, I think, one of the things I brought up. Victor Creed, fresh out of the Krakoa, by the way. Victor Creed just crawled his way out of that Krakoa, and the first thing he did, he's like, yo, I got to get on YouTube. I missed out.
Show note, Tyler, you need a picture of that ready to go at any moment.
I should have a Krakoa pic ready.
Oh, God.
So I was... I cooked stuffed pork chops for me and my wife last night, and
I don't like
as I was cutting the pork chop, some of the stuffing was falling out, and so I look at her. I'm like, I gotta fill up this porcussy real quick.
Oh my God!
The imagery of that for some reason makes me queasy. Like. Yeah. I hate those videos that people post of like, oh, hey, here's a dog. I'm going to cut it open and it's a cake. I can't do that. Or like, hey, here's a...
Wait, so what you're grossed out about is stuffed pork chops in general?
Stuffed anything. I don't like stuffed.
Oh. Or double stuffed Oreos.
Nah, like if you could open it and like something's gonna ooze out, like I can't.
So it's the whole and something. Okay, let's Victor Creed.
Let us know in the chat what that particular fetish is called, so we have a name for what Sean hates.
I was thinking fear. What's the one with your like a fear of like weird holes? You know,
I have a fear of weird holes.
Yeah. Okay. Not Sean. Afraid of Krakoa.
No,
it's a weird hole. No. Victor Creed, I love a fresh start. Hickman is a genius. It's weird that Victor Creed would be saying Hickman's a genius when Hickman's
like, wait, dude, didn't you just spend a year inside of a dark hole?
Yeah. What happens? I think we'll probably see that in the Sabretooth mini that we're getting, right? Because we have to see what goes on inside there.
Inside the dark hole.
Yeah. Yeah. Kevin says we have 500 subscribers, and then Tyler starts talking about Krakoa and the pork chop story, and now we have 497. Okay, let's the real K Fed. Whoa, the real K Fed.
Man, get out of here, K Fed.
After his brief WWE run and his marriage to Britney Spears, he just watches comic book YouTube channels. Real K Fed.
I hate you for what you did to Britney, first of all, and second of all. Cena needs his win back. So
get back to that's WWE. Assuming this is the real K-Fed. If this is just some guy who's a K-Fed fan or maybe has the same name structure as K-Fed,
I think it's different because it's a PH. Yeah.
Okay. So K-Fed says, quite obviously not flawless. Nothing is, but an absolute success. So another positive Hickman review. Okay. And then Johnny Reddy, more really talking about our takes on it, says new to comics, but this is a fresh take so far. Talking about, you know, like, I guess how Hoxpox was a real jumping on point for a lot of people. And the X-Men realm of things. So
I think that from that perspective, it's a bona fide success, right? Like there are multiple layers. This era allowed so many people to jump on with the X-Men that never would have, because it was kind of impenetrable. So yeah, from that vantage point, 100%.
We even have people in the Discord that are talking about like, hey, this is the first X-Men stuff they've read.
Yeah,
right.
Which is
like Manny.
Yeah, that's a big deal, because even like in terms of like casual comic book readers, I think a lot of things that stop them is like they don't know where to start. You know, I see that time and time again. You know, like even like a new #1 because they're so used to like, I don't know, like a Netflix where you start at season 1, like they don't know where that begins. Do I start at Amazing Spider-Man or Amazing Fantasy for Spider-Man? You know,
Well, that's a number 18, isn't it?
True, and that's confusing. Yeah. It's 15, I believe. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, if you're in the Twitch chat or you're wherever else you're listening to us, question for you all: what is your relationship with House and Powers? Did you read it? Did you start reading X-Men through it? How did you kind of come into the X-Men? Was that a factor for you guys? Let us know. And are you curious if you haven't read it? Like, will you read it? Obviously, we talk about it enough. So take us forward, Tyler.
Yeah, so then on our weekly Pals Polls episode, How Now Brown Cow, which is what I say to warm up my vocals every episode. So it's funny how that happens.
Red leather, yellow leather.
Yeah, rubber baby buggy bumpers. So on Daredevil Woman Without Fear review, stumbled on this one and it really did kick ass. A great first issue and hits the right notes. What a good turn for a lecturer who had been wasting away for the last few decades.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I think we agreed.
Wasting away. I guess. I mean, there were some pretty good Elektra stories in the last decade or so. We shouted out a couple, Tyler. The one,
the Mike Del Mundo one,
yeah, that was very good. And then I feel like there was another one that was really good. Was it the Kelly Thompson? Is that ongoing now?
No, that's Black Widow. She's doing
Black Widow. Okay, yeah. Black Widow also, by the way, had a couple of really good runs. So, yeah, it was a great issue.
So then we also had a TikTok comment from Barb619. Booyaka, that's said this was about a clip in our discussion of the black characters in Marvel. Luke Cage, Storm, Falcon, Blade, Nick Fury, the Patriot. Like, I'm pretty sure there's more black people in Marvel than just Black Panther and Miles. Agreed. Ooh,
that's what we're saying.
A Patriot book would be fun. Where's Eli been?
This is why you have to listen to the show. The clips are cool, but we put them in there as bait. And if you take the bait, you come and you listen to the show, or you leave a comment like this, right? So this person doesn't realize that we were actually criticizing Marvel for the fact that none of those characters have an ongoing. Like, Sam Wilson is a movie star, right? This is a character who has appeared in multiple movies, is literally the Captain America of the world, like the current world. The forward-facing Captain America is Sam Wilson. And there's no comic book based on this character. Luke Cage has no comic book. That's weird. Blade could easily have a comic book. He's about to be a movie star again. Don't get it. But that was the point of the segment.
Is there a character that you feel is like criminal they don't have an ongoing? Or even a mini, like there's not starring in a book?
Luke Cage.
I think it's Blade for me. Like the way they've set him up in the Marvel universe, in the actual comics with Aaron stuff.
Yeah.
And his oncoming movie. Like, wow. It'd be so easy. Just do it.
I agree. I completely agree.
I was gonna say Blade too. I think it's time to get the vampires back in Marvel lore.
And maybe we can finally get that Blade's daughter book that got announced 7 years ago or something like that.
Blade's daughter. Right. Oh my god!
It was like a Tim Seeley joint, I think.
That gave me a flashback to Joker's daughter, which was that was a tough time in my life.
I bet it was.
Yeah, it really stopped you from buying Joker books.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah,
absolutely. I don't do that.
And then, I was going to say, and then the Jacoby commented on the Nicholas Draper Ivy interview from New York Comic Con, right? I believe that's where it was from.
Yes. Yep.
Static season 1 is amazing.
Completely agreed. I know that that's not the universal opinion, but to be honest, Static means more than the quality of the book, in the sense that the book may not be tremendous. It may not be the best book that DC's publishing, but it's solid. It's an attempt. Like, it's a legitimate try to do something good. I like it. I think it is good, but it's not bad. I don't think you can qualify it as bad. And that's the key. This is a book that I have given as gifts. This is a book that my friends have seen and said, wow, I can't believe that there's art like this in comics. You know what I'm saying? Like my black friends who don't read comics like that have an interest, but they find the books impenetrable. I said, hey, check out Static #1, and their minds were blown. That is what happens when you pair penetrable art, right, that hits people where they live now, which is an anime style, manga style, with a character that people want to see who represents them in a way that's been iced for 2 decades. You know what I'm saying? He's important beyond whether or not the book is your favorite book on the stands.
And it's funny you bring this we bring this up right after we talk about Marvel lacking in that field. So DC's doing something. I mean, the whole milestone thing, it's something that, you know, Marvel isn't really caring to do about, you know?
Right. And then to make it better, they literally have done they're building a writer's workshop around Milestone. Like they have a submissions thing that they're doing where writers primarily of color, like anyone can submit, but if you're of color, that's going to be a boost here, to have an opportunity to write within the Milestone universe. That's huge. And by the way, Marvel doesn't do that.
What about Marvel Voices, Sean?
Yeah. Let's not even get into that.
They're trying.
Don't read the next comment, by the way. That's for later.
Okay. All right.
So let's jump into the Twitch chat again before we move forward. Let's catch up. We missed a couple of things. Kefis says House and Powers is the first time I've read X-Men since Morrison and Whedon, and I've been buying most of the run since. Yeah, thank you for that. To be honest, I think those were the last times that the X-Men were must read. You can talk about Bendis. Tyler brought that up, but I don't think that was must read. I think in order to talk about when the line felt important and there were lasting changes, you do have to go back almost 20 years. Yeah. From Beyond the Stars says that they're curious, haven't read it yet, but am very interested. The point of not knowing where to start is what I have said before, is what gets me. So this is a good start. This is a good start. I'd like to. It's the best start. House and Powers is absolutely the place to start if you want to read the X-Men. You have to have a cursory knowledge. You just have to literally know who Professor X is, who Magneto is, who Cyclops is, and who doesn't know those characters.
And what a mutant is.
Right. Exactly. And that they're oppressed, which again we all know.
Yeah.
And then Kefis, in regards to the Blade talk we just had, he said, change Jubilee back to a vamp, make her Blade sidekick, and throw in some Elsa Bloodstone. So
that's what I'm saying.
Kefis knows his shit, because Elsa Bloodstone.
Make them fight Werewolf by Night. Bring back 2005 Underworld. Get Kate Beckinsale involved. Let's go.
Cale, you're speaking my language. You're speaking it.
Wait. If we get Kate Beckinsale
as Elsa
in a Blade movie as Elsa, I will not survive that movie. I will not if you get Kate Beckinsale in any role in a Marvel movie, that's it for me.
Okay, Pete Davidson.
I can't handle it.
No. Stop it.
There is a ban
on Pete
Davidson on this podcast. I hate Pete Davidson.
That's disgusting.
Never again, Tyler. Never.
I'd rather listen to a full podcast of you talking about the Krakoa and your nasty turkey stories than Pete Davidson.
I would say Pete Davidson gives hope out there for all like the below average ugly dudes. Like,
no,
not
you do.
Oh shit.
I guess Savage. I won't, guys. I'm going to introduce to the show. Pete Davidson's on the line. Let's. Marco hasn't said the phone line.
Hang up.
I would stop this podcast. I wouldn't be able to do this anymore.
The day the Comics Pals died.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And by the way, Tyler, you have some Pete Davidson energy to you.
Thank you.
That's worse than what I said. That's way worse than what I said.
That's not a compliment. What don't you understand?
Successful.
Damn. Okay, yeah.
He's doing a lot. Potentially hosting the Oscars.
He's with Kim Kardashian.
No.
He might host the Oscars.
Yeah, there's a rumor about that.
God.
Yeah.
Have you seen him host some of that, like those Logan Paul boxing matches? Like, dude says some reckless shit. It's hilarious.
No, fuck no.
He hosted. I don't want to talk about this. Why are you making me talk about Pete Davidson?
He talked about like people like fucking his own mom. Like,
Jesus.
All right.
See, guys, X-Men 92.
Let's shift gears. Let's talk about something wholesome and nice. I hope that you guys are not tired of us talking about X-Men because we ain't stopping.
Wait. Murphy said, Sean said, you have fetal alcohol syndrome. What the fuck does that mean?
Matt maintains that Pete Davidson looks like he has fetal alcohol syndrome.
He might. He might. I don't know.
He might. Nothing wrong with that. For all the listeners that have fetal alcohol syndrome.
Listen, there's nothing wrong with that.
You're fine. We love you.
See, Tyler, Catherine said, who watches Pete Davidson fucking boxing
you think
matches?
I paid for that? Nah.
Oh, but why would you watch it anyway? Logan Paul sucks. Pete Davidson sucks. All these weird white
I was watching for
pseudo white guys
Jesus and Mara,
suck.
honestly.
Oh my god. All right. Anyway, X-Men 92. So last week, I think it was on the show, Tyler said, what is the metric of success? Does Marvel continue to use the Krakoan era X-Men concept in other places? And here is our first sign of that. Because the X-Men 92 branding, which is, of course, Marvel Comics using the television show as a baseline for a new continuity in comics, is going to tackle the House of X and Krakoa era. It's essentially what if the Krakoan era happened in 1992? And cleverly, they use the Roman numerals to showcase that. In the description of the book, they talk about so it says, in 2019, Jonathan Hickman revolutionized the mutant mythos with the hit series House of X. But what would it look like if the Krakoan age was ushered in decades earlier? Find out this April when writer Steve Fox and artist Salva Espin reimagine this modern mutant milestone in X-Men 92 House of X CIII. Which of course is 92 in Roman numerals. Yeah, super cool.
So we're gonna hear a lot of Gene, Scott, Bub.
I'm fine with that.
Yeah. Will okay, here's my random question. Will Jean, Cyclops, and Wolverine?
Yep, absolutely.
Yes.
No, yes. No. Yeah. What was wrong with you guys? No, they're not gonna. They're not gonna share.
Best at what I do, Bub.
Krakoa.
No, it's not.
Oh, and what I do is bang dudes with one eye and their girlfriend.
I'm dispelling this rumor
wait
now.
A minute, hold on.
Okay.
Cale, you think Cyclops is an actual Cyclops?
Yeah, he's only got one eye. It's right there in the picture.
All right.
I can't stand you. What I was going to say is I'm dispelling two rumors right now because I'm tired of them. I don't want to hear about them anymore.
I thought you tanked, but you can go and heal, do some dispelling. Go ahead.
One.
I get that reference.
I healed. Wait, I never tanked. Are you crazy?
I thought you were a healer, so you
I was a healer.
King of Dispel. Okay.
Catherine was a tank. I was a healer. Now,
gotcha. All right.
One, Wolverine does not have two dicks.
Wait, that's a rumor?
Yes.
Have you not heard about that? Yeah.
You never heard that?
What?
Yes, there is a persistent rumor that Wolverine has two dicks.
It's incredible.
Okay, well, I'm not sure I agree with that one, but go ahead.
You don't you don't agree that that's not true?
No, I don't agree that that's true. I don't.
Oh, okay, yeah, of course.
There's nothing in the text that has led me to believe that.
What part of the mutation is that, right? Like,
That is a mutation.
Beast got like extra fur and turned into a cat. Mm-hmm. Emma Frost got diamond form. Wolverine got a second cock. What type of mutation is that?
Listen, it's an extra physical mutation. What do you want?
Yeah, Kefis, I completely agree. Tyler's like, I feel like Tyler would be the creator of that, right?
Well, yeah. Tyler, the creator? Yeah.
Yeah. But the second rumor that I want to dispel is that Wolverine, Jean Grey, and Cyclops do not share a bed. They never have. They never will.
I will say they do not share a bed, but they're definitely Eiffel Towering.
We did get a comment that I want to go back to, and I think I need to reference a song. Cyclops is a bottom.
As a huge Cyclops fan, total bottom energy. That guy.
That's not true. He's the leader of the X-Men.
Which means he likes to reverse the roles.
He's got huge bottom energy. That's what that means.
Anyway, because this podcast is going crazy. I'm excited for this book because obviously, like, you guys can see it. The cover is just unbelievable. Seeing the 92 era characters, in Krakoa is just, that's awesome. My concern is the creative team a little bit, not because they're bad, not because they've done anything bad, but I just don't know. I don't know if they've got the chops to do this.
The reason I think Krakoa has been successful.
That's what happens when you have Matt Murphy in the chat.
The reason I think Krakoa was successful is because it had Jonathan Hickman aboard, and I think that's the reason the plane landed with Inferno relatively well.
Yeah,
I worry about what this is going to be.
Yeah, same.
Because, like, what are they going to pull from?
Right, like, they don't necessarily have the same characters available to them. Like, I mean, we don't know, right? Like, they could do this. There's so many different ways you could go about doing this, and it could ultimately just end up being a fun story that doesn't have, it's not going to have implications, obviously. And so in that case, you don't necessarily need a Hickman. You just need someone who can tell a good story. But yeah, like, I don't know how this will work practically. I don't know.
Maybe we'll get a better Ten of Swords, though.
Hopefully we just don't get Ten of Swords. And by the way, Kefis, yeah, I know. I'm just having fun. I'm hoping that it's not true. I don't want it to be true. Tyler,
you know what? Yeah. I'm gonna put that out into the airwaves. What Sean was just responding to is that there is an actual comic in the Hickman run that implies Cyclops and Wolverine bone. I think we need to get that out into the airwaves.
You know what?
I'm not gonna let you slip that by. I saw what you did.
And Sean, like, also, like, not to get back onto this thing, but that whole idea of freedom and physical freedom is integral to the Krakoan storyline. So
look,
why not?
Who better to release his inhibitions than Cyclops?
Exactly.
Cyclops is supposed to be about his business.
Oh, yeah, you can
and
still
his business is being a bottom.
And his love for Jean Grey. And that's a pure thing. It's a sacred thing. That's not for, like, you don't bring in Wolverine. He's a dirty weirdo. He's an old man. Wolverine is like 80 years older than them both. You guys want to talk about, like, age gaps? Mm-hmm. This is not right.
Cale,
they can't consent.
Hold on. We agree.
No, hold on.
Cale, we agree. Cyclops bottom, Jean top, Wolverine switch. Like, that's the...
Oh my God.
Absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely.
Okay, cool.
Wolverine is whatever you need him to be.
Dude's been around. He is cool with everything.
Oh my God. Matt Murphy says Wolverine gonna make him optic blast.
Optic blast.
You know what's funny? Like, I'm really trying to talk about this comic book,
Can
and
I
you
talk
guys
about this
only
X-Men 92 thing?
Please talk about it.
So first of all, the press release saying, what if Krakoa was born decades ago? I'm like, oh, like in the 70s? And they're like, oh no, X-Men 92. I'm like, oh shit. Forgot I'm turning 30 this year. Yeah, so I thought that was pretty funny. Oh, we got a new follow from the Medic 5539. Thank you, the Medic.
Thank you.
Oh, sick.
Nice
Wow, cool animatic there. Wow.
That's me. I got all NBC2 stuff going on. So
Hey, yeah. I just played that the other day.
That's why I screamed Optic Blast. Yeah, so
Marvel versus Capcom 2.
Oh, I thought he said NBC.
Yeah, the sequel channel. So I only have one request from this book. I think I'll be fine. I think I'll be fine. But I just don't want to see Morph. That is all I ask.
You don't want to hear him screeching?
No, because I can't
the whole episode.
I can't unhear that.
You left me behind, X-Men.
I hate Morph. But I hope they put them all in Krakoa. I hope we get plenty of Jubilee. And I hope we get some more Gambit. And Hermes Pip also. Thanks for the follow.
Thank you so much, Hermes. That's awesome, man. Appreciate you. I'm not going to stand for the Morph hate on this podcast. I tackled this once. I don't remember who it was. I think it was Pete or was it Phil? Might have been you, Cale. I don't know. Somebody tried to get this over, and I'm not here for it. Morph is amazing. Okay.
Listen, you're 100% outnumbered. So
here's the
I don't care. I'm the host, so I get a +1 on my opinions, and I'm saying that Morph is amazing.
You're wrong,
Sean. If you don't take that back, I'm turning the stream right around. I have control here.
Yep. You may be the host, but you are no longer in control.
All right, whatever.
I will read this book though. I'll give this a shot.
Yeah, this is an easy buy. Yeah, easy buy.
Oh, this is the book? This isn't what the animated series is going to be?
No.
I mean, not definitely no. It's a possibility, but
it could be, but this is the book.
I've been making fun of the show the whole time. I wasn't even thinking about the book.
I mean, it's one and the same at this point. If the book is trying to be a direct continuation of that. I mean, is it a continuation of the show or is it a continuation of the previous X-Men 92 stories? I don't know.
Probably the previous X-Men 92, if I had to guess.
Yeah.
So let's talk about the X vote real fast. I want to talk about the X vote because I actually have a bone to pick with everybody that's listening to this podcast right now. So
let's be belligerent to the listeners right now. Let's do it.
Absolutely.
Yeah, Sean about to get voted out of the podcast by the listeners.
That's fine. We could do that. Because last week I came on this show and I said, I prayed. I said, Marvel, you need to put Surge on this vote. That's what I said. And lo and behold, Monday rolls around and Surge is there. They put my girl Surge, all right? My 16-year-old crush. They put her on this vote. So what did I do? Of course, I immediately went and voted. I tried to vote again. Unfortunately, you can't. It's like real life. I should have gotten other people's phones and voted Surge, but I didn't do that.
You should have gotten all
just
dead
like real
people
life
to vote.
I should. Yeah, that's a little morbid. I don't want to say that, but I should have. So let's talk about it, okay? Because I feel like it's unfair, and I'm going to talk about why I'm mad at the audience real quick. So first of all, here are all the people that we could vote for. We've got Micro Max, whoever that is. Bling, Siren, Gorgon, Avalanche, Gentle, Surge, Armor, Penance, and Firestar. That's actually in order from least to greatest in terms of votes. Firestar should not be here. That's number one. Firestar should not be here. This is bullshit. Too many people know who Firestar is. They clearly want her to win. They want her to win.
You think it's rigged?
Yeah, dude.
Here's the thing.
Polaris was clearly going to win last year. Firestar was always winning this year.
I don't know if she fits on the team when Sunfire's on the team.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Like just in terms of a team makeup sort of situation. I'm not a big. I think Armor fits a niche there. So Matt in the chat says it's Siren season. typical of you to pick the Irish ginger. Go back to Woodlawn. And then Kefis says, yo, sorry, my man. I totally voted Firestar. Yeah. Betrayed.
Okay. So that's the problem. My problem is with everybody who voted for anyone other than Surge. Why would you do this? Firestar? Listen, Firestar can get over in other ways. Surge has not had a role in an X-Men comic book since like 2006. Well, no, like 2007 or 8. But that's going back 14 years. We got to help her. And you guys did not get it done. You didn't vote Surge. I'm disappointed. She finished. Well, we don't know. Yeah. They haven't released the actual final tally. Obviously, we know Firestar will win. But according to this, she's in 4th, which is not great. It's not good enough. I don't like it, guys.
I voted for Micromax.
What? You picked the cool one name. British character.
Did I?
Yeah, one of the am I 6? Am I 13 members with Captain Britain?
Great name.
That's Micromax for you. Yep.
Well, you know what, Kefis? The reason that the rant didn't happen is because, unfortunately, the whole vote process took place last week, and our last show was recorded before they announced who would be involved. So, they should give us time. Like, come on. Or we should have just gone live before that. Well, we did on Wednesday, I guess. But for Pulse Polls, which goes live at 6 p.m. every Wednesday. Anyway, I also wanted to say that I really, really hope that next year when they do this crap, they keep it to just the losers. Firestar's not a loser.
I agree. I would have voted for Firestar if Iceman was on the team. I would like to see that dynamic a little more, but Iceman's not on the team. But I agree. I think it should be.
There's a whole show about that.
I know, and that's why I want it in the comics. But yeah, I would like to see a whole bunch of Misfits be on the ballot next time. Like, it's mostly Misfits, this list. But then you have
and Firestar.
Yeah, exactly. Or I would even say Armor is not a Misfit anymore. Armor is up there in terms of notoriety.
Armor's never been a Misfit. Armor was like Joss Whedon's self-insert or something. Like, he always does this with these characters.
He does stuff, that's for sure.
And Penance had a book, X-Corp this year. What the hell? Or last year.
Dude, I would have voted for Penance if it was, the Thunderbolts character.
Speedball.
Oh, yeah. Give me some Speedball. But the last thing the last thing I wanted to say on this particular subject is, did you guys hear the voice memos that Marvel put out on their Twitter page?
They were weird, dude.
They were weird. Like, I wasn't sure if it was supposed to be the character or like someone speaking on their behalf, but it was weird.
Yeah, it was.
What is this? What?
Go ahead.
They're voice tweets. So Twitter has like a voice tweet option where you can tweet, but they did it as almost like a weird audio drama sort of thing of like it felt like the character speaking to the voters to kind of, but like they were not done by professional voice actors. It sounded like they just got the interns to do it. It was strange. It was very strange. It's to the point where I felt uncomfortable listening. I only got through like 2 of them. They were just, it was just like making like my spine tingle. It was weird. I wasn't a fan.
Can we play one? Do we have the ability to do that?
I don't know if it would work I don't think you guys would be able to hear it. The audience would.
It's not worth it then.
So X Vote 2022, I'm not pleased. But we'll see. I guess I'm excited for Firestar to be in an X book, I guess. Whatever.
Try again here in 6 months.
Yeah. Let's talk about the Hellfire Gala too, real quick. Big change to that. Obviously, we all know that, the Hellfire Gala was an event in 2021 where it was basically based around, first of all the characters coming to the event dressed up. Russell Dauterman designed pretty much all their costumes, and they looked fabulous. Mm-hmm. We did our own Hellfire Gala where everyone but me dressed up, and that was a good time. Go check that episode out.
But I was fabulous.
You were. You were.
Who won? You won, right, Cale?
You damn right I did.
Yeah, of course you did.
Can we do that again this year? Because I never got to participate. So
of course you can. Yeah, we'll definitely do it again.
I watch all of RuPaul's Drag Race. I think I could do this.
Oh man, I can't wait to see what you do. That's gonna be fun. Yeah, so it was also kind of like a mystery based around what happened during the event that caused everyone to be shell-shocked and kind of scared, all the non-mutant attendants of the future. And what it was, of course, was that the X-Men had terraformed Mars. Yep. Now, this year, though, it's going to just be a one-shot, and it seems like it's going to be primarily focused around unveiling the new X-Men team. Which again, I don't really like. I don't think you need to blow up the team every single year. Let that be organic, like if people leave for whatever reason, that's fine. You don't have to blow up the team. And by the way, that probably explains why you can do Firestar, because it's unlikely that Sunfire will still be there.
This is essentially the WWE draft at this point every year.
Yeah, exactly. I don't love that.
I hope they terraform Uranus this year. That's all I had to say.
My anus?
Whose anus?
Your anus.
Mine?
Your anus. Uranus. It's
Uranus. Okay, Uranus.
Oh, sorry, I mispronounced.
I don't know. Do you guys? They changed it over here. I don't know if you guys have heard about this. They got tired of all the butt jokes. Now it's just called Erectum.
Damn it, Cale! It was better than mine.
You wrecked me.
That's what Wolverine said to Cyclops. All right.
Oh my God, dude! No more. I can't.
You think he says snake to win? Never mind.
Damn near killed him.
Is it an adamantium bone? That's the question.
It's not a bone.
Oh,
this podcast. Like, why did we bring you here, Tyler?
For this. You did not expect this. You thought, he's the guy that kind of controlled that weirdo Matt Murphy. But no, I don't have a leash. Or sometimes I do. But, it's...
For the most part, you don't.
Yeah.
Someone said, woof. Yeah. I feel you, medic. I get it. Like, it's crazy. Hopefully that doesn't dissuade you from listening to this podcast. Real quick. Well, let's jump into the comments. Yeah. Matt Murphy, I guess you could say she needs a surge in voting. I agree, but it's too late for that. Unfortunately, you guys missed the mark. From Beyond the Stars, I'm on Twitter constantly and missed this. I have to blame the audience. I'm okay with that. And then in reference to the gala, do it again. Hellfire Gala coverage was some of my favorite fun you guys have done. Yeah, that was a good time. I really enjoyed it. Kefis, come on, Sean, go full Harry Styles for this year's Pals Gala. Listen, I only know who Harry Styles is because of Eternals, and I don't know why you would say that. I don't know what going full Harry Styles would mean, but I promise you I won't do it.
He likes to wear like dresses and stuff. He likes to, buck the gender norms.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I'm not the one for that.
You could do like the Weekend though. He's got a good fashion sense.
Yeah. If I ever walk outside or appear in public or really just appear in any way looking like Harry Styles or The Weeknd or, Kid Cudi or whoever.
Fucking Lil Nas X.
That will be when you will know for sure that I have been scrolled.
Okay.
That's how you'll know.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Good to know.
Yeah. Let's talk about real quick Knights of X or Knights of 10 or whatever. This is the replacement book for Excalibur. Excalibur is over, as pretty much almost all of the previous era's titles are. They're kind of going away for the most part and being reborn. So this one now spinning out of Excalibur is Knights of X. Teenie Howard staying on board. Bob Quinn going to do the art for this one. Yeah. So that's
good, yeah.
Yeah, Bob Quinn is very good. And this book is actually going to pick up directly where Excalibur left off. They're actually going to be the team is going to be going into Otherworld. So Captain Britain is going to lead that team into Otherworld, and they're going to try to take down Merlin. In Otherworld, mutants are not they're kind of treated like mutants are on Earth, quite frankly. They're called witch breeds, and Merlin is the big bad, and they're gonna go take him down. So the team is Richter, obviously Captain Britain, Betsy, Richter, Shatterstar, Gambit, Rachel Summers, Bay making it onto a team, Megan, and two more surprise characters, one of which was obviously Shogo, Jubilee's dragon child.
Jubilee's got a dragon too?
Jubilee has a dragon.
Shogo, when he is in Otherworld, he has special powers where he can become a dragon. He pretty much has, I think, reality manipulation, and because he's a child, he's like, I want to be a dragon. But yeah.
A real baby though on Earth, like a legit baby. Yeah. What do you guys think of this?
I'm having a lot of fun with Excalibur, to be honest. I've given up on it being like a integral part of the main X-Men story. It's kind of doing its own thing in Otherworld, and it's like a fun fantasy book, honestly. So,
I like the concept. I like the idea of Merlin being the big bad. I like all that. I think that's a fun twist on everything. There's no one on the team that does anything for me.
Really, not even Rachel Summers. I'm a big Rachel Summers fan.
Rachel Summers.
I love Rachel Summers.
Same. Also, it's interesting to see Gambit and Rogue kind of separated. It hasn't been this way in a while. So, I mean, I guess Rogue's on the main X-Men team, right? She's on that,
right?
Yeah. So I guess storyline wise, it makes sense, but just narratively, they've been really stuck together. So,
for my money, I think this was the best, or Excalibur was the best non-Hickman written book that was coming out during the initial era, and even in the Destiny, or not the Destiny, the Dawn of X era. So I'm excited to see what Teeny does here. Teeny has definitely grown on me. I wasn't, we talked about it. The Ten of Swords wasn't great, and I know that Teeny had a lot to do with that, but that doesn't mean that Excalibur was bad. So yeah, I'm into this. Teeny had a couple of words to say about it, though. She said, the spiritual and literal successor to Excalibur. It's all Otherworld all the time. It's got girls, gays, bae, and more than a few Saturday morning cartoon vibes. It's that classic X-Men story of a world that hates and fears mutants in a fantastic whole new way. I like that.
Is Bae Doug's Bae?
Yeah. Also, Richter and Shatterstar on a team, again, is a nice little twist. Because they're not a couple currently.
Right. Yeah. That's what I was going to say.
Wasn't there drama with them at the Hellfire Gala? The last one? Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So
a great Shatterstar mini that came out like 2 or 3 years ago.
Really?
You should check out. And there's some of that dynamics talked about. So
why are we booing Tyler, by the way?
I think because my love for Rachel Summers, I think that's
Saturday.
Oh wow.
No, it's a day that ends in Y. That's why we're booing me.
Yeah.
No, Catherine, I will not accept any help.
No, she gonna get you, fool.
No, not. There's 0.0 chance of that. There's not a human on Earth that could convince me that that's a good idea. I don't need that. I don't need that out there. Let's shift gears. Let's get away from the X-Men for the rest of this week, unless we just decided to start talking about Jonathan Hickman. And let's talk about Spider-Man. So Jonathan Hickman's going to be writing Spider-Man.
My leg. That's all I think about when I see this cover.
Word, dude, right out the gate. So this is Zeb Wells and John Romita Jr. on a new Spider-Man getting a new number 1. This cover, it does not inspire. Look at that leg. Look at my man's leg. His leg is broken.
My dude hitting the stanky leg. He's about to get lit at like on Fordham Road with that stanky leg there. Jeez.
I don't know what you just said.
That's bad. It's Cale, you're just a little bit too light for that. White rather.
He's trying to do the jerk in the air, says the medic.
I don't know what that means either.
Yeah, well, it's funny. It's funny that you don't, but they don't do the jerk in the UK.
No,
Who you asking? Like,
yeah, Kefis, I was memeing. I wish Hickman was writing this book. It's actually Zeb Wells. Not to take anything away from Zeb Wells. Yeah, absolutely. Just, but Junior being on the book is like not my bag. I gotta say, I know he has fans and he's a legend, and this is not about disrespect. So please don't take it that way. I just can't do it. I can't do it.
Gotta say, JR is where I really fell in love with the Amazing Spider-Man.
Yeah.
I really love his run with Straczynski.
It's one of those things where like
try it.
Yeah, it's one of those things where like the creator and the character, it's just like it works. Even like when it doesn't work, it still works,
Yep.
Like like I'm thinking of like the anti-Venom arc way back when, which I think was JR as well. Like
I mean, even when he was hot on early in the Straczynski run in the first introduction of Moreland, just is so good. The way, I mean, JR cannot draw clothes to save his life, but man, his Spider-Man, that's Spider-Man to me more than anybody else.
You know what's so weird is that I love that run too, but for whatever reason, at some point, Junior just didn't do it for me anymore. I can't. You
keep saying Junior, and I'm like, that sounds like some indie band. Like,
he definitely stopped doing it for me, and I don't anticipate this is going to be very good. But
there's a little magic.
I gotta try it. Yeah, I gotta do it.
Yeah, I will read a Romita book because Romita's on it. Even like I read his entire run with Bendis on Action Comics, which was by the end of it, it was dreadful. It was real bad. Romita should never draw Gorilla Grodd ever again. It looks like Beast.
Yeah.
No.
It's kind of a shame. It's like this guy, and I think it was just the story was too much for Romita. Romita does not do well with group shots. If you remember the tail end of Bendis's Avengers run. I remember there was it was like the Hood stuff. The Hood gets the Infinity Gauntlet.
Yeah.
His group shots are rough, but the dude knows how to draw like New York City with Spider-Man swinging through it, and like a battered and beaten Peter Parker. Like it's good stuff.
The medic says, y'all probably heard this, but did y'all hear that Stan Lee's favorite character was Spider-Man? You know what?
I don't think you ever said that enough.
I hadn't heard that, so I appreciate the update. Much love to Big Man Stan. Miss that guy. Matt Murphy says Junior, the best Spidey artist of all time, and also most Italian American Superman of all time.
Yeah, absolutely.
So let's talk a little bit about the premise of the book. Apparently, we're going to be seeing Doc Ock. Tombstone is going to make his return as a Spider-Man villain, and they're going to try to reestablish him as a major threat for Spider-Man. Imagining Romita Jr. drawing Tombstone makes me feel bad inside. But
he'll just draw himself.
That's like I know. For me.
He's known for that, but when I think about like the same body that Romita always uses, and I apply it to Tombstone, I'm like, that's rough. I can't get with that. But it does start in April. They're saying they're going to isolate Peter from his friends and family again.
Okay.
And
so we'll get some decent drawings of Spider-Man and Peter Parker then. They won't be group shots. They'll be. We won't have to look at his badly drawn women.
Oh, his women's hair is. It's like good, bad. You know what I mean? Like it's just it is what it is, and I like it for what it is.
Has not updated since 1988.
Did you read Gaiman's Eternals?
Oh,
I haven't touched that one on. I have it. I haven't read it yet.
Cersei's hair,
so bad,
was rough. It was like it literally looked like you know how toys, when you would buy them in the 90s, they'd have like that hair that literally doesn't move at all.
Oh yeah,
it looked like that.
Do me a favor, real quick. Google Claudia Winkleman.
Why am I?
This isn't a trap. It's not a trap.
Okay. Boy, Claudia Winkleman.
She's a British TV presenter.
Yep. It's got like Lego hair.
Every single woman that John Romita draws looks like her.
Yep, I can see it.
Flat bangs straight across.
Yep.
Just about covering the eyes.
Dude loves a good set of bangs.
Did you guys see the promo image that Marvel put out? It's actually really good. I'm not gonna lie. Mm-hmm. It's like a crater in the ground.
Yeah. And
there's smoke coming out of it, and Spider-Man, Peter Parker's inside of that with his suit kind of busted up, and it looks like he's holding a spider tracer. And it just says, "What did Peter do?" Pretty cool. Pretty cool. I don't know what Peter did. What do you guys think Peter did? Write in the chat. What do you think Peter did? Any guesses?
He tried being
fell in love with Iron Man.
Yeah, I was gonna say tried being the fourth one in Krakoa. Mary Jane found out.
Cyclops caught him with that optic blast. Yeah. He was in the blast radius.
Oh, I bet he was. So Hermes Pip in the chat says Peter busted. So I think he meant that like Peter's busted for something, but like that's his radiation. Okay, he's busted. It's right. Okay. Yeah,
oh my God,
finish that chat there, Hermes.
You guys ever read Spider-Man Reign, where like he literally killed Mary Jane, died because by his fluids, by his radiation fluid.
Yep,
it's rough.
Coming to a book club this year.
As fucking wild as that is, not a bad book.
Oh, that's Manny. That's Manny in chat. Hermes
perfect.
Okay, yeah.
Welcome, Manny. Glad you're here.
No, so Zeb Wells has been doing Hellions most recently at in the X-Men line, which has been fantastic. So I'm excited to see.
He was part of this 5-part Spider-Man thing, wasn't he? Spider-Man Beyond, yeah.
And he was also part of the original before Dan Slott, when they had that rotating cast of writers.
I think he was also part of the Animaniacs. I could be wrong.
Wait, really?
No.
Okay.
Wow. Yeah, so I'll read it. We'll be reviewing it on Pals Pulls in April when it comes out. I don't have high hopes, but I'll be there.
Murphy says, buy Spider-Man Reign now before the big Disney vaults his radiation nut.
Oh my God.
It's gonna be in there. It's gonna be Spider-Man Reign and Song of the South stuck in the Disney vault.
The medic says my favorite was when Spidey cocooned himself, then had weird spider limbs. What was that?
I think that was after
Clone Saga.
After he died, just before Civil War.
Oh, the other, right? Was that the other?
Yeah.
That was cool.
So.
Yeah. Yep. And then From Beyond the Stars said, "Ooh, I do remember that. The Radiation MJ Stuff book club for sure." I genuinely stand behind Spider-Man Reign. I think it's fantastic.
Who is that?
That's Carr Andrews. I don't know how to say their name.
Okay.
Boy, oh boy, is Andrews a talent. There was an Iron Fist run. Mm-hmm. There was a mini. So good. I would love to do a book club about that.
I think he's got a book. Is it Erratic?
Yeah, Erratic. Yep.
AWA is great.
Yeah, I bought it, but I haven't read it. I gotta read that. You know what else is great?
Unlimited too. Sorry.
No, that's good. You know what else is great? Spawn. Yeah, Spawn. And let's talk about some good Spawn news, because I know there are a lot of people that are listening to this that love Spawn, and I'm with you. I love Spawn. So Spawn the Scorched, which we reviewed on Pals Pulls this past week. You should go check that out. Give us a bump. Got 270,000 orders. That is 270,000 sales. Now, I will clarify, because I know Todd McFarlane loves promotion, so I do want to be honest about this. What that means is that comic shops ordered 270,000 copies total. That does not mean that 270,000 people pre-ordered the Scorched.
Right.
So we don't actually know what the sales, the hand-to-hand sales look like. We only know what the orders were. That's still a tremendously high number for a comic book, especially a non-Marvel or DC comic.
I believe it's the highest for a team book ever. I think I read that somewhere.
Yeah, interesting. For a team book.
Yeah, I think I read that somewhere. I don't know where exactly I read that.
Well,
when I was getting the Scorched cover art for this.
Well, Uncanny Avengers #1 had over 300,000.
True, yeah.
Yeah, so
biggest new team book in 30 years. That's the headline I saw from comicyears.com.
But again, Uncanny Avengers was 10 years ago.
It's true.
Yeah, I don't know. But I mean, either way, it's still a tremendous number. And when you look at how Spawn's universe has done, Gunslinger, King Spawn, King Spawn almost had 500,000, which is a tremendous number. Spawn is back. Like, Spawn's been back.
Yeah.
Like, you're behind if you're not fucking with Spawn right now. Matt, you don't have to be jealous. You could be here. This could be you.
And that ain't happening. Yeah, so
Murphy, this could be you, fucking Spawn.
Whoa.
I mean,
oh, sorry, is that not what you just said?
No.
Everybody's fucking Spawn. That's what I heard.
What? Fucking with,
yeah.
Oh,
it's another thing we say in the States. Spawn.
Yeah, Cale's just behind on the lingo. He's got a color problem, and then he's not even in the US. Like, it's just rough.
Color problem.
Yeah, like you the color of your skin, right? Based on like where you came from. It's okay. It's okay. Based on you being from Texas, based on the kinds of people you grew up around, because of your culture, you are not exposed to certain things. So, for example, you don't know who Omarion is, right? That's a result of being from Texas and being white. What am I saying that's wrong right now?
Tyler, is this a hate crime?
I don't know, chat. Let's do a poll in chat. Hey, chat, is this a hate crime?
Did I just get hate crimed?
I wouldn't even, Cale, I wouldn't even go there because I have some audio footage. Well, it's from the podcast. Yeah.
Is it just wavelengths?
Yeah, it is. Yeah. It's like the Matrix. I have audio footage of you saying some pretty interesting things about, people's races.
It's just about Krakoa.
No,
I don't think so.
You know what I'm talking about, Cale. Remember the times you've gone red-faced on this podcast?
Listen, it is well documented that I don't remember anything that I say after we turn the microphones off. The problem is that I know you, and I know that you remember absolutely everything I say.
I remember everything everybody says.
Matt said Sean is the Texas episode of SpongeBob right now.
What's that? I don't get that.
That's a reference for Cale.
That reference I do get.
Don't mess with Texas.
So, the Scorched doing tremendously well. Yeah, go ahead.
I have a question. What do you attribute that to? Just the name brand of Spawn?
You know what I think it is? I think that the pandemic created a situation where people were really nostalgic. We had a lot of time on our hands. Those checks were flowing, those stimmies. Bring the stimmies back. Get them back. I want to buy some Todd McFarlane figures.
I think you're onto something.
Yeah. And so I think that kind of revitalized people's interest in stuff they loved before. And I think that's what's happening with Spawn. I also think, though, that there are speculators who are buying Spawn comics in order to sell them later.
I think the COVID thing is a good point, though, because I think the normal comics readers and the smart ones, would actually go out and leave their basements and stuff, were more exposed, so they probably died. So the only real readers we have left are the people who read Spawn because they've been stuck in basements the whole time. Like, I feel like Spawn readers either are in basements or in actual fallout shelters, because they're like apocalypse preppers. That's my
look behind me. I have a Christmas tree behind me. I'm a Spawn reader. I'm not in a bomb shelter.
That's yet to be proven. Yeah. It's like you can't put a Christmas tree in a bomb shelter.
I can have my girlfriend walk behind me right now. She ain't
like
in
your
no bomb
girlfriend
shelter.
can't be in a bomb shelter.
Yeah, I saw her deliver your 30 cans of beans, like right before we recorded the show.
I don't eat beans.
That's where you draw the line.
Yeah.
How the fuck dare you, Beans?
Don't accuse me of that. I'm really excited for the Spawn movie.
I also am.
Okay, Jamie Foxx.
Thank you. Whoa! What's that about? Why would you call me Jamie Foxx? Is this a race thing, Tyler? What's up with you?
That felt a little bit like a hate crime.
Another poll in the chat.
Wow.
Was that a hate crime? No, because Jamie Foxx has been talking about Spawn for how long now?
I don't know.
Too long. Honestly, don't bring Michael J. White back. Let's get like a true, like, that guy can work. If we're gonna do a Spawn movie, bring him back for it.
Oh, okay. Whoa. Why are we letting Tyler off the hook right now, chat? Why are you guys not coming for him?
Is what's the next topic we have?
Even that feels race related. What's going on here?
The slides. I can just.
You can move the slide, but you can't stop me from talking. I will not be silenced. Okay.
I kind of could. I can.
Black Lives Matter. Anyway.
Agreed.
Never mind.
Watch it. I'm excited for the Spawn movie only if it's made by Blumhouse and not directed by Todd McFarlane.
I will give Todd McFarlane a directorial chance.
What?
Same.
Yeah, why not?
You don't even like his writing.
Because it would be a beautiful disaster.
Yeah.
Right.
It would be like one of those like comic book movies that you rewatch constantly because it is not good.
And with the oversight of Blumhouse, I don't think they would let him fail.
How do you stop that?
I don't think they would let him fail badly.
Fair.
I feel like Blumhouse, with all of the the horror stuff that they have going on, I think there's enough oversight and sort of mentorship that they can direct Todd McFarlane in a decent way.
I would be okay with him directing. I would not be okay with him writing it.
Yes.
Yeah. I think vision.
Isn't he writing it?
Like, in terms of vision, he has a vision for the character, and I think that could be an interesting, I guess, seeing that in more of a film thing. But I do not care for his writing at all.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sean, you're muted still.
Yeah. Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
I don't think that movie's coming out, to be honest. So pipe dream. But I think if there were a time to make a Spawn movie other than when they made the one they made, it'd be now. I think this is the window. If you don't get it done now, I don't know that the window opens again. But speaking of movies, let's move over to DC and let's talk about Batgirl. Batgirl has been in the news a lot lately, and on your screen right now, if you're watching this on Twitch or on YouTube, you are seeing Leslie Grace in the Batgirl costume. I am so excited to talk about this. So first of all, I do want to say the Batgirl movie was initially announced as an HBO Max movie. It still is as it stands right now, but we know from Blue Beetle that can change. So with Michael Keaton being in this movie, with J.K. Simmons being in this movie, I think there's a strong possibility that it gets bumped up as a feature film that comes out in theaters.
Oh yeah, that being said, to a feature film because we got these white male actors that are real popular. Okay, I see where this is going, Sean.
Listen, that's how it works. That's the reality. So let's talk about this costume. Leslie Grace tweeted out a picture of her in the costume, and she said, I use, this is quotes here from the Batgirl Year One book. I use their expectations against them. That will be their weakness, not mine. Let them all underestimate me. And when their guard is down and their pride is rising, let me kick their butts. She does have red hair, which is a plus. I like that. And I got to say, she looks pretty cool.
It looks very Batman 66 Batgirl.
Yeah. Yeah, it's
like I think it's, I wonder if it's supposed to be more Burnside inspired.
Yeah.
But man, I get more 66 vibes and I'm not mad about it.
That's kind of where I'm coming from this too. Like, yeah, it has like the form of the Babstar version, but it's seeing it in live action. Maybe that's what the deal is. Like just seeing that costume in live action makes it, you know, a little different. Oh, Silent Duck, thanks for hosting our stream. It's one of my guild mates there.
Nice. Yeah. What does hosting the stream mean?
On his stream, he is now streaming our stuff.
Someone is streaming our stuff to another audience?
Yeah, exactly. Yep.
Who's doing that?
Silent Duck, one of my guild mates.
Oh, awesome. Yeah. Thank you for that, Silent Duck. Appreciate you.
Is that a good thing?
It's a good thing.
It seems like it would be a bad thing.
No, okay. It links directly to us. Don't worry.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Cool.
Yeah, I agree. I think this costume is kind of like giving off both vibes, and there's nothing wrong with that. I think that's probably Batgirl at her best. I'm partial to the costume that she wore during Gail Simone's run, but that's also when I jumped in. That's, I guess, like a more, I want to say traditional, but what's your traditional, right? So yeah, I think it looks great. I was afraid. I'm not gonna lie. I was afraid. I wasn't sure how this was gonna work out, but without seeing any motion, just a still image, I think this is awesome.
Yeah.
That's not. Yeah, go ahead.
I was gonna say I'm in a couple of Facebook groups for comic book collecting, which that's always fun. And seeing
doesn't sound like it.
No, it's a train wreck. I love it. Seeing the reaction to the suit on there was interesting. My thing is like, why don't you guys like this actress? Was it her films you didn't care much for? And that usually right. that's bait right there. And then I have fun on Facebook, but
I think at this point, you know, she is Batgirl, you know, so either you can complain about it, which is not going to get you anywhere, or you can accept that and hope for the best. I am hoping for the best. And this right now, so far, this is good. This is what we want. This is what we wanted to see, as far as I'm concerned. So I really am not going to, you know, get hung up on the color of the skin of the person who's, you know, wearing the costume. Let's focus on, can she act, and does the costume look good? And so far, so good. That's not the only Batgirl news we have, though. From the set, some people were able to get some photos, and we know based on that from the Gotham Tattler, which is a rag magazine in Gotham, that the Court of Owls exists.
Oh, yeah.
So this image comes from Twitter. Batgirl Film News at Batgirl Film posted a series of tweets, actually. This one says, Gotham Tattler, the shadowy truth behind the Court of Owls. We expose the secret society run by the elite and corrupt. And there's a quote on the cover that says, "Owls tried to recruit me," says former circus child star. Who's that a reference to?
Killer Croc.
Very awesome.
What if it's Firefly?
Well, I mean, that kind of answers my question. Like, how does Firefly, you know, be the main villain of a movie? Apparently he's not. So that's kind of a good thing. Well, I feel like him as a hired gun for this bigger organization, that I can see working.
You're taking this a slightly different way than I did. I actually took this as an Easter egg.
Oh, I mean, yeah. Could be that too.
Yeah.
Because there's another one that shouts out Vicky Vale, which was kind of cool. Yeah.
I could see the Court of Owls thing blowing up, but I think we'll have to wait to see how how this does. Sure.
It's a little weird because the Court of Owls is based on secrecy, right? So to just come out and say that they exist, that's removing all their power, right? Like,
but I mean, it's the same as like, you know, I was abducted by an alien.
Okay, yeah, that's a good point.
Alligators in the sewer, you know.
Yeah,
that's a good point.
Like the whole, I mean, you know, in the comics, like to the general public, Batman is supposed to be a tall tale, you know, somebody that scares kids to put them to sleep or whatever.
Especially kids from lower income houses.
Yeah, he puts them to sleep all right.
Yeah. I love Batman, yeah.
The medic says, I want to see some Cassandra Cain Batgirl. Yeah.
We're going to be waiting a long time, my friend.
That's true.
I don't think it'll be that long. I think once they kind of build up this world and these characters a bit, I think Cassandra Cain's probably one of the first ones we see as a kind of a side secondary character.
We already have.
As Batgirl, that ain't happening anytime soon. But I think we can see Cassandra Cain down the line.
Yeah, I don't disagree. I'm excited for this movie. I wasn't before, but I am now.
One image made you excited for this movie. That's all it took.
Hey.
Yep.
One image
I'm a simple man.
A ginger woman, and then that's all. All right. Well,
that's all I really need. Yeah. I'm not complicated.
Yep. Just like Wolverine and Cyclops.
There you go.
No.
Snicked, baby, snicked.
I'm not with it. The medic says same. I assume that's same in reference to being excited. Yeah, I mean, why not be excited? Like, Batgirl's awesome. We all love Batgirl. And if she can pop and, the rumors are true about the new Justice League and she's going to be a major player in that means that we are going to be living in an era of Batgirl for quite some time. And so it better be good. By the way, you cannot say that Batgirl is going to be on the Justice League as a part of the triumvirate, and have her movie come out on HBO Max. Can't do it.
We'll see.
Yeah.
If they want to push HBO Max sales, they can.
Mm-hmm.
We'll see indeed.
They've got Justice League on the CW, and that's not profitable. So
hasn't been for 7 years.
Can I just for the start of 2022? Can I just make my stance on the CW clear once again?
Sure.
When I say fuck the CW.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah. I just can't do it. When I saw the promo for the Flash and that costume, I had the opposite reaction to the one I just had of Leslie Grace's Batgirl.
See, I love the promo to the Flash. That was the one that got me.
You hear from Sean first. Sean hates Smallville.
No.
Yep,
I watched Smallville. I watched Smallville for like 6 seasons, and I was feeling it, but it went on too long.
That was also on the WB, so.
That's right. Yeah, the WB was lit. The WB was my lifeline for many years. Charmed, bro. Hello. Sabrina the Teenage Witch. Fresh Prince. Come on.
Is that all on the WB?
Well, they weren't WB originals, but they would give them after school,
Was UPN what WB turned into and then turned into CW? Is that the trajectory?
UPN and WB basically combined to become the CW.
They did the fusion dance. Okay, so UPN, right, was the black channel.
Yep.
UPN was the black channel that you could see if you had basic cable, I think.
The basic cable black
was
channel.
for black people that had money. And then and then UPN 9 or UPN, whatever, wherever you were at, and WB did the fusion dance and they became CW.
Yep.
It
hasn't been profitable since 2006.
It's because they stopped doing Saturday morning Yu-Gi-Oh shows, I bet.
Word.
2006?
I don't fucking know. I don't fucking hell if I know.
That'll be way later than that.
Sean, you want to talk about something?
Yeah. Let's move forward. So the last bit of news is going to take us into our main topic here is that DC is choosing a really opportune time to return to Flashpoint. So this year, we're going to be getting a new Flashpoint story called Flashpoint Beyond. Flashpoint Beyond is going to feature the Thomas Wayne Batman that we got from the Flashpoint universe, basically solving a mystery. How did the universe survive the Flashpoint? Why is he specifically still around? And various other things. There's a whole cool chalkboard that they put out a promo image that features Batman looking at a chalkboard. By the way, for those of you who really, really mess with this podcast and you are on our Discord, you will know what I'm talking about when I say this promo image gives me Mr. Bones vibes. This gives me Dr. Bones vibes.
This one
fully. Thank you so much, Tyler. You are the man for having that right there. This gives me Dr. Bones vibes. Really First of all, but I'm gonna read it. Okay. I'm gonna read it because there's people that can't see this right now. So it's Batman standing in a messy room. I don't know what Batman you know of, but the Batman that I know ain't messy. Batman's a clean freak. He's standing, by the way, not sitting. His chair is on the ground. Did he turn it over? What's he mad about? He's staring at a chalkboard that he presumably wrote the words on and is pondering, just like this. Just like Dr. Bones. I wish you had the Dr. Bones image so we could put these two side by side. And so what it says is 5G averted. Very meta, DC. Very meta. I love that. But I hate it at the same time. It says, history irrevocably damaged, must travel beyond Omniverse. What's beyond it? To where? Fall of Justice League, rise of, can't see because Batman's standing in the way. Why is Deathstroke not acting like Deathstroke? Imposter? And then the legions of something, can't see. Future, remember, of the legions. Can't read that. Beware. He'll find his son. Do not interfere. His daughter will rejoin Justice League to save it.
Society.
Society to save it. Who's Jade. Hunting That's the Jade. Time? Can't read it. What reason would Batman have to write these fucking questions on a chalkboard if he's the one asking them?
It's to put your ideas out there. You never done that?
No. On a messy chalkboard? Look at his room.
My man, did it not occur to you that might not be his room?
This is Director Bones' office.
Yeah.
It could be Director Bones' office.
Or someone else's just in general. But
But the casualness of the way that he's standing there reading it off, just like I just feel like it's his space. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong.
Whose room this is. I know whose room this
is.
Whose
room is that?
It's Dan Didio's. It's 5G averted.
There it is. Yeah.
he jumped onto the Superboy Prime's world and went into DC's offices.
Matt, you have a message. He said, I have a messy chalkboard in my room.
He does.
You have a messy chalkboard in your room?
He does.
Because you're Matt Murphy. That doesn't surprise me at all.
He writes shit like this on his chalkboard. He has this. He has goals, life goals and things, and they're just one word. They're not organized like this either. And it's it's never been cleaned, this chalkboard either. It's just been erased with obviously his hand, even though an eraser is right there. Matt has real Director Bones energy, I feel. Yeah, that's true.
What are some of the things that you have read on Matt Murphy's chalkboard?
They're mostly just his enemies list. It might be on there. He has
Justin Alba.
Who?
Nothing. So 5G averted. Yeah, I don't know. Here's the thing. I love Eduardo Riso. That is enough to get me excited. I love the DC multiverse, and that's enough to get me excited. So I think I'm pretty much on board for this.
Yeah, it's cool. I guess.
I feel like this would have been your thing. I mean, we did the Justice League Incarnate. What was it? What was the one that we read? The Joshua Williamson one.
Yeah, what was it called? I can't remember the name, but I know what you're talking about. Yeah. No.
Yeah.
I've been memeing for the last 5 minutes. I actually am excited about this. I like the premise a lot. I'm down with the return of Flashpoint. I personally like Flashpoint. I know a lot of people don't, but I liked it. And so the Batman of the Flashpoint era is cool to me. There's a new villain coming in, Clockwork Killer. Sure, why not? Geoff Johns, that's the elephant in the room. Yeah, sure, why not? The part that I don't like is that after the Zero issue, Geoff Johns is going to be writing this alongside Jeremy Adams and Tim Sheridan with artwork by Zermanico. Down with Zermanico.
Yeah, Zermanico.
why is Geoff Johns sharing writing duties? I'm putting sharing in quotation marks, by the way, because I know what that means. It means that he's not writing it. It means that the other two are writing it. That's how this works.
He's gonna be one of those things where he's plotting it and the other one's writing it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's nothing that can get me excited about this. Nothing.
Really?
I've burned my Geoff Johns bridge, fucking Doomsday Clock, and the other one.
We'll talk about that more. Yeah. But
yeah. Those have not worked out for me. What you just said, Sean, that he's doing the Zero issue and then piecing out. I hate Flashpoint. I hate everything attached to Flashpoint. I'm out. This sucks. This is terrible. This is the surefire way to get me to not read a comic book.
Wow. Ether.
Well, you're gonna be on the Pals pool, so you're gonna read this.
No, I'll be suspiciously sick.
Yeah. Cale's gonna have a mysterious illness, or something bad will happen.
Jess will push me down the stairs again.
He's like, I'm busy. I'm going to the pub to get a Bicky Wiki. What do they do over there? I don't.
No, you nailed it. That's pretty good.
I think I did pretty well. All right.
Tremendous, tremendous United Kingdom insights here.
Yeah, I'm good.
Putting down.
Let's turn to the chat because I can't deal with Cale right now. So, Matt says my enemies list is in a notebook. Can you put that on stream?
I have seen it.
Again, Rorschach over here.
Matt's journal.
His journal sits right on top of his copy of Atlas Shrugged.
Gutter filled with blood and piss. I'm bleeding while I piss.
I've asked to take a train into New York. Don't want to do it. Snowstorm.
This is real inside baseball here.
Yeah.
One day we'll get my revenge.
Trying to avoid the right wing. Can't seem to do it.
You now found the origin story to the long box. There you go.
Dude, it's the origin story to this podcast. Like we all started doing this for the same reason. I'm sorry to those of you who don't know what we're talking about. I can't explain it.
We will never talk about it.
Yeah, we'll never talk about it. But yeah, I want to see Matt's journal. I need it. So the medic says also the helmets on the shelf behind Batman doesn't exactly scream Batman owns this room. You're absolutely right.
You know what it does scream, I feel? Either this Clockwork Killer because of all the clocks there on the side, or like a Rip Hunter. This seems like a time traveler.
Yeah.
It's almost assuredly Clockwork Killer.
Yeah.
What else do we have here? Hermes Pip says they're great, Sean. What's great? Kefis says, yo, this is rare, but I fully agree with Cale.
Who said that?
Sorry, you're wrong.
Kefis.
Who said
Kefis.
Hell yeah. Wow.
The medic also said, yo, why does Rorschach's face look like my parents fighting? Same. Rorschach's face does look like your parents fighting.
That's kind of weird. So yeah, we're going to talk a lot more about this book when it releases, obviously, because we will be reviewing it.
You know who's not going to be in this book?
Who?
Cyborg. It's definitely not happening.
Yeah, Geoff Johns has a ban on Cyborg being his books.
I get that reference.
Yeah.
Oh my God! Yeah, you're probably right.
Maybe a few black characters.
Oh, dude, you know what? No, what it is I shouldn't even say this.
I mean, if someone can say it, I think you can say it. So
we don't know all of the 52 worlds, and there's probably one in the universe where it's just this Thomas Wayne Batman runs into Cyborg, and he's in this area where they have enslaved all these different superheroes, and Cyborg's just going to come up to him, and he's just going to be a slave. That's the only way we'll see Cyborg in a Geoff Johns comic book at this point.
I thought you were going to go in like saying there's a world that's the DCEU in the comics, but you went for it. Yeah, I should have stopped.
I did.
Wow.
I did. You should have stopped me. You guys don't know this, but my humor is very dark.
Why would we stop you?
I guess you're right. I just feel like Geoff Johns has heat with Ray Fisher. That's all I'm trying to get across. And if you don't know about that, we're going to be talking about it in our main topic, which is all about Geoff Johns. And answering the question, is Geoff Johns' reign as the top guy at DC at an end? Is it over for him with all of the allegations on the part of Ray Fisher and others, with the lack of sort of commercial or critical, I guess, at least acclaim for some of his most recent books that he's put out? Is Geoff Johns on his way out? And are we allowed to get excited for a Geoff Johns book in 2022? That's what we're going to talk about in our main topic. For those of you on Twitch, stay tuned. We will be back in 5 minutes or less to close out the show. You don't want to miss our conversation on this. It's going to get spicy.
Yep.
We'll be back.
Hello.
We are back.
We did it. Welcome back, y'all.
We all peed.
The bathroom has never been hit so hard.
There was a wardrobe change.
Oh, I found my X-Men jacket.
That's what distracted me.
Yeah, you actually showed this to me before. I think the X-Men jacket that Tyler is sporting.
I look like Gwen Stefani on this one. I'm just like
Gwen Stefani.
Like if I didn't have a shirt underneath, I'd have my midriff would be showing. That
could actually be your gala look.
See me at New York Comic Con next year with my gut hanging out. Oh, that would be my mutant name, Gut. That's all it would be. I could just digest things. Great.
Like a Upchuck from Ben 10.
Yeah. Like I could just unhinge my jaw and just eat things,
Yeah. Get its power or whatever, and then vomit them back up.
I'm cool with that power. That sounds good.
Yeah, that's actually a kind of a legit power. Like I wouldn't be surprised if that becomes a thing or is a thing.
Ben 10, dog.
I don't know what Ben 10 is.
Oh.
Yo, really?
Yeah.
It's good. Or used to be. I don't know how it is anymore.
The new one's a little...
Well, you know what? That's another podcast, okay? This podcast is about
Patreon.
Jonathan Hickman. No, we're going to talk about Geoff Johns, as we said earlier. So let me set the table. Geoff Johns, since the pandemic, I guess, has been accused of racism on the part of Ray Fisher, the actor who played Cyborg in Zack Snyder's Justice League, and Joss Whedon's Justice League. He was accused essentially of not really respecting or listening to Ray Fisher's complaints. He was accused of, as I said, racism, not necessarily against Ray, but against other black actors that were on set. Notoriously, the actor who plays Ray Fisher's father had a much bigger role. And you will know that if you watch the Snyder Cut. And almost all of that was removed. Pretty much all of it was removed from the initial movie. Zack Snyder's Justice League features Cyborg as more or less the main character. He was sidelined in Joss Whedon's version. All of these things.
Not just sidelined, like virtually very close to fully removed.
Right. And one of Ray Fisher's primary complaints was that he didn't want he didn't want his character to come off as goofy. So because like in that movie, Cyborg is kind of angry about what has happened to him and what he's been dealing with. And so they really wanted him to say booyah, which is Cyborg's line. That's just his phrase. And he said, that doesn't make sense. Like, I don't want to say that. I don't think that fits the character. And reportedly, if I'm wrong about this, excuse me, but I believe what I read was that Joss Whedon, Geoff Johns, who, by the way, was a producer, one of the writers, said, we don't want to have just an angry black guy be in the movie. That's not what we're looking for. So him saying "booyah" would be a way to add some, like, light, I guess, to his character.
What was the phrase people used about Miles Morales in
all the swagger of a black teen.
That's what it was.
Yeah, from the Miles Morales video game.
Was that the IGN review?
No, it wasn't IGN. It was
Polygon,
the other
maybe.
Place. No, I don't think it was Polygon. It was Kotaku, I believe.
I got it eventually.
And that writer was black, so people bugged out on that one. As you're listening, whether you're in the Twitch chat or wherever you're at, write your thoughts about Geoff Johns as we dive into this conversation. Manny in the Twitch chat, Hermes Pip, said, to BH, if Geoff wrote the book himself, it'd probably take a couple years. That's true. That's probably true. But so not only were those allegations made, Geoff Johns was actually demoted from his position as like creative director for the DCEU to nothing. He's gone. And rumor was that he will not have an easy time working in Hollywood again, based on how things went over there. In addition to that, the long-awaited, long-touted Three Jokers, which, was initially a part of his, it was a tease from the Justice League War, I believe, or the Darkseid War, rather, I think, from, his run on Justice League, when Batman sits in the Mobius chair and he's like, oh, what's the real identity of the Joker? And the Mobius chair is like, which one? And it's revealed that there are three Jokers. That book came and went, and I personally was a big fan of it, but it didn't get over. It was kind of goofy. It didn't have anything to do really with what was set up in Justice League or Darkseid War, and it doesn't matter. Like, it's a completely irrelevant story. And frankly, I don't think it needed to be told at all. Like, I liked it. I thought it was good, but I don't think it was necessary.
I think it was more
especially.
I was going to say it's more especially of a Fabok thing.
Yes.
Yeah.
It especially didn't need to be told 15 years later.
15 years. Yeah, just the timing was off too on that one.
If you were to tell me what the actual end of that story was, I couldn't tell you. Like, I don't know what the resolution was of that book, which showed how much it really lasted in my head. But
yeah, you know what? I don't remember either.
Genuinely, you don't?
I'm pretty sure the ending was that Red Hood had the opportunity to kill Joker, and he didn't. And he also wasn't able to get with Batgirl because I think she wasn't down. I think that's the end.
It's a real in-depth analysis there.
Joker was trying to create a new Joker.
Yeah. And they wanted to do it out of Jason Todd.
Yeah, he wanted to do it out of Red Hood.
Okay, I remember this now.
Yeah, and that failed.
But the actual ending of it was that Bruce has known who the Joker was all along, and he was providing shelter for the Alan
family.
Alan Moore, Brian Bolland family that Joker has before he's dumped into the chemicals. He's providing them shelter and everything, and he knows who he is, but he's been keeping it a secret the same way that the Joker has been keeping the New 52 Batman's identity a secret.
Yeah, and that was kind of cool, I guess.
That's a word for it.
So not only was Three Jokers not terribly well received, but I feel like Doomsday Clock also wasn't terribly well received. Again, thought it was awesome, but there were a lot of people who were clutching their pearls about bringing back Watchmen characters into the DC universe. A lot of people who thought it was blasphemous, and whatever, they did it, and a lot of people were disappointed with what Geoff Johns added to the Watchmen stuff.
Actually, the Watchmen stuff is the tasteful part of that book.
I remember that differently. I remember people liking that book, honestly. I think I was doing a long box at that point, and I think me and Matt were real high on Doomsday Clock. From what I remember, I could have a clouded memory on this, or maybe I'm looking at this through the rose tinted glasses at this point. But I remember it being good. It's just the delays kind of derailed it significantly.
There were a couple of factors. There was the delays, but then there was, and obviously the people who were never going to like it because it featured Watchmen characters.
Sure.
But then also, I specifically remember a lot of people, including people on this podcast, were upset about the way that it ended. Like the last few issues, like maybe the last 3 or so, they didn't feel like it lived up to what had happened prior. I remember what's his name? Dr. Manhattan has like a son or something like that. And I don't know, it was just weird. I don't remember the whole ending, but it was weird. Then there was that one sequence that was teasing 5G and all that other stuff, and that felt really bad. So yeah, but there was go ahead.
I was gonna say thanks for the follow, Paul's 1688.
Oh, yeah. Paul's awesome. Thank you for joining us. Appreciate that. Let's jump into the comments before we finish or go forward. Kev has said the annoying thing about the Justice League movie stuff is the lack of details aside from the Booyah story, but there's no reason to doubt Ray Fisher that there were major issues. Also, Geoff Johns being mostly silent on everything doesn't speak well of his reported behavior either. I completely agree. Matt said, we liked it, but it was so delayed it was borderline unreadable. It climaxed in issue 11 though. Yeah, the delays hurt it for sure. The other thing was Geiger. Geiger is Geoff Johns' first in a while. I think it was his first ever non big two story, non DC story. And this was post Ray Fisher. This was after the allegations. And so of course there were a lot of people who said, don't care, won't buy. There were also people who said after Doomsday Clock, don't care about Geoff Johns and Gary Frank and Brad Anderson's team up anymore. But when the book actually came out, I think the results were mixed. Like the first issue was really good. And I think there was a lot of praise for that. But after that, I think a lot of people were like, what is this? Why are we reading this? What's the point? And I think that fell off too. So that kind of sets the stage for the question that we're here to ask and answer, which is, are we messing with Geoff Johns anymore? You know, does he still have the clout? Does he still have the sort of authority, the power to step down from the throne, as it were, and tell stories at DC that people care to buy? You know, are people willing to overlook the problematic aspects of his personality, allegedly, to read these stories, and are they worth reading? Is the last 2 years or 3 years of Geoff Johns comics encouraging to you enough to check for him anymore?
I mean, I guess I'll go first in this. I really enjoy Geoff Johns' collection of work. I think Geoff Johns is what he pretty much made the modern incarnation of the DC universe that has gone on since Infinite Crisis, honestly. For better or for worse. Some people would say for worse, especially when we get to the New 52 era that he helped kind of usher in with the Justice League part of it. But you can't deny he is integral to the history of DC Comics. He revitalized Green Lantern as a character and built that world up that stuck for a movie that was shit, but it stuck. And I think his legacy is important. I will typically still read a Geoff Johns book if it comes out. Like, I've read Giger and I've enjoyed Giger. I think it's really, I mean, it's also Gary Frank on art, so that enough is a draw. You could put Todd McFarlane on writing, and I'd still probably read it because it's Gary Frank. But I was enjoying that book. I think his silence on a lot of the Ray Fisher stuff has been disconcerting. But also, it kind of tracks for who he was. Even when he was just a comics guy, he didn't talk much, I feel like he's always kind of kept things close to the vest. I think the only times he talked was when he was forced to for press stuff. And even then, he wasn't a very eloquent speaker from what I remember. But I think not addressing it didn't do him any favors, really.
Wasn't there a CW thing too? Or some television thing with DC's arm? I was trying to look it up, and I don't remember what it was.
Involving Geoff Johns?
Yeah.
Kev has mentioned Stargirl being a thing, which I think was supposed to be a CW show. Then it went to
HBO
DC
Max,
Universe, or went to DC Universe and then
or
HBO Max.
DC, yeah. And then it went to CW. I don't know. That was a weird situation. I think it's played everywhere though. Yeah, I don't know, Cale, about that. I'm not sure. Yeah.
Yeah. So Geoff Johns, I think you're right. Like, I think he, at one point, Johns was, the Bendis of DC. Mm-hmm. Everything he touched was gold, and he was revitalizing absolutely everything. Titles that had long since, Teen Titans had long since lost its luster, and he revitalized it by modernizing the cast and making it relevant again. Aquaman in the New 52, yeah. But I just, I guess, again, similar to Bendis, in the 2020s, I just, I think he's sort of, I think he sort of lost it, writing wise.
He seemed like one of those guys where, like, once, comic book movies and TV became a thing and he transitioned to that, where that's where his energy went, and then his writing in the comics kind of dipped from there. Like, I remember not really caring much for his Justice League stuff, but that's also when he was doing all the actual Justice League movie stuff, and he was working in the film. So, like, it's kind of same for Bendis when he was doing, like, Powers for PlayStation Video or whatever.
And even being a part of the Cabal over at in the MCU. He was one of the people who was a part of that initial group that made decisions that caused Kevin Feige to want to leave Marvel, actually.
Yeah, and
this was?
He was a part of that.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, okay.
I think it's just like when these comic book writers had too many, they were juggling too many things at once, where I kind of, that's when their actual comic book stuff dipped for me.
Yeah. So From Beyond the Stars says, even if he had been quiet in the past as just how he is, to stay quiet on the Ray Fisher stuff doesn't look good. Even if you're typically not a vocal person, you'd think you'd want to defend yourself if it's not right. Yeah. I agree with that. And like, I want to address on my end, the Ray Fisher stuff up front, because I was very passionate about that. Ray Fisher, that was his first role as Cyborg. So for a person like that who has literally everything to lose to speak out, it says a lot. He put a lot on the line to speak for people who weren't necessarily himself. He wasn't saying like, Geoff Johns, was racist towards me specifically, right? Like he was saying this was a set issue, and Geoff Johns cultivated an environment that was like that alongside Joss Whedon. They were the two drivers of that. And so I believe Ray Fisher, and I will always believe Ray Fisher until I have a reason not to believe Ray Fisher. And if what Ray is saying is true, right, Johns has to speak to that. He has to say, well, this was my perspective on what happened, and I apologize for how I made Ray and others feel, and that was never my intention. That's what he has to say. Or if it's not true, say that shit ain't true. But to say nothing gives me the impression that he doesn't care, that it's not important to him, that his fans know, that the people know. It's like Joss Whedon. Joss Whedon hasn't spoken out. He hasn't spoken out about his wife. He hasn't spoken about the allegations against the woman who played Cordelia on Buffy. I'm sorry, I can't remember her name at the moment. He hasn't spoken about the allegations about Justice League. He hasn't spoken about Gal Gadot's allegations against him. Joss Whedon doesn't give a shit. This is the vibe. You can't do that. And so for that reason alone, it's like, boy, can we care about Geoff Johns? But, you guys know that when it comes to the work, when it comes to the creativity, I care about that so much that I'm willing to overlook who the person is outside of the work. And so for that reason, I am excited about a new Geoff Johns project, because contrary to how, people seem to feel critically, I still like every one of those books that we talked about. I thought they were all great. I don't think that Geoff Johns has lost a step. I really don't. I think he's still maybe the best writer, other than Ram V, that DC has.
I think that's, allegations aside, I think that's absolutely insane.
Do it. Go ahead. Go ahead. This is what I like.
I mean, like, there's Joshua Williamson. There's, again, people stepping into Geoff Johns' shoes.
Tinian.
Who, admittedly are working on what, Geoff Johns built and revitalized, but they're doing what he did, and it's better.
I don't think that Joshua, and I love Joshua Williamson, I don't think you can put Joshua Williamson's name in the same category as Geoff Johns in any year, any decade, any point in time.
Cale,
if it were 2004, I would 100% agree with you. But 2022, no way.
I think, Cale, from what I'm understanding, you're saying is like that Geoff Johns built this foundation that the people writing comics now were the ones reading those comics before.
Yeah, absolutely.
So they are building from that, doing it well, but also doing things like telling a compelling character story with, like, sure, Geoff Johns' stuff were big, bombastic superhero capes stories, but could they really tell a deep, meaningful message that would come across? I don't know about that.
They did. But what I'm putting forward is, like, people now are taking what he did, and they're doing it better. They're putting more out.
Hold on. Let's keep it real, okay? If we're gonna get real on this podcast, let's keep it real. You can't sit here and tell me that you really think that bullshit that I don't want to say that. That's not cool. That book that Joshua Williamson did that we can't remember the name of, that had 7,000 artists on it. Did you read that? Because we reviewed every issue.
Again, if we can't say the name, I don't know what it was.
It was Justice League Beyond, was it?
It was no, was it? No, it wasn't Justice League Beyond. It was
Incarnate.
What was the event?
I know what you're talking about. I mean, but okay, so he has a miss. Like, Geoff Johns had him too. Like,
okay, but you're talking about him following up on the legacy of Johns and doing it better. That wasn't better. That was worse.
I mean, okay, but what about his Flash?
His Flash was fantastic. Was it better than any of Geoff Johns' solo runs?
Yeah, his Flash.
You think his run on Flash was better than Geoff Johns' run on Flash?
Sure.
Okay, fine. Now, let's go a layer under that, because it's easy to say, hey, this character is wherever they're at, I'm going to come on and tell my story. Johns was responsible not only with Flash, but with Green Lantern for revitalizing and introducing that character into the modern era. That's legwork. What legwork was Williamson responsible for?
Okay, that's what I'm saying. Like, yeah, Geoff Johns did that. He laid that foundation that people are working on. But now people are doing stuff that's better and cooler. Granted, based on what Johns did, it's 2022. Like, that was 20 years ago.
That's also true. I don't know. I don't think you can make that argument until they're standing on the same stage. Williamson's not standing on the same stage as Johns is. Johns has had the weight of DC on his shoulders for almost 20 years, and he has done that excellently. Williamson's first at bat, right, was that book we just talked about. Like a real shot, at a major book. And it wasn't good.
I mean, I'm on record enjoying that series, so
that's fine. But but being objective, right? Like just beyond the fact that you like D-list characters and stuff like that. That book was a bit of a hot mess. I didn't hate it. I enjoyed aspects of it, but it was a little messy.
I think in terms of the art and it kind of, bumping back and forth on artists, yeah, I think it was a little hectic, I think is a good word to put it as, but I'm trying to see what Geoff Johns' first DC book was. Was it
Stargirl, I think.
JSA, apparently.
Yeah.
Yeah. JSA back in 2000, 2006.
Shazam was hot fire. The Geoff Johns Shazam stuff.
The backup stuff. Oh, yeah, because Gary Frank.
Yeah. No, because of Geoff Johns. I'm evaluating his part of it. Like, Gary Frank is amazing. Well, I'm not taking anything away from him, but I'm evaluating the part of it that Geoff Johns was.
I also don't think comic books is the same industry as it was, and Geoff Johns was the guy. I don't think we're ever getting the guy at a major comic book publisher at Marvel or DC again. Hickman's probably the closest we'll get to that for Marvel, but it's just that's not where the focus is right now. It is a machine to pump out stuff for their more money making properties like film and TV. When comics was just really comics at that point, you can have a guy. You can market it around that. And I don't think it's going to happen again.
I think whoever's got the hottest hand will always be the guy. I firmly believe that.
I don't think they let people have that power, though. That's the thing.
You don't think they let people have the hot hand? You don't think Jonathan Hickman is the guy at Marvel?
Oh, no, I'm saying at Marvel, sure, maybe. But I don't think DC does that anymore.
I don't think DC does that anymore because DC has been struggling.
Yeah, they are. Yeah.
For some time, right? And as a result of that, when they tried to make a guy, they tried to make Tom King the guy. There's no argument that Tom King was not the anointed son. He was supposed to be the guy. He fumbled the bag. Batman didn't do it. It didn't get it done. It was being outsold by Immortal Hulk. That's a sin. He'll never get that chance again. And Heroes in Crisis was legit trash.
Fair.
Like, they tried. And so then James Tynion, maybe he'll be the guy. Yeah, Substack, though.
That's fair.
That ain't DC's fault. So I think...
I mean, you can make an argument about that.
Well, pay-wise, yeah. I think if DC were paying more, then a guy like Tynion doesn't, leave. But, you can make the argument that Joshua Williamson is being groomed for that particular position. But he's got to show up. He has to prove it. Geoff Johns has already done that. And I think that
But again, 25 years ago.
No, bro.
I'm getting another wrestling vibe from this. Where like Williamson's like the up and comer who's like given a shot, and they go ahead and just bring Geoff Johns back. Yeah. It's like whenever Hulk Hogan shows up, like in the mid 2000s WWE, like early
to
2000s.
drop a classic.
But
or a turd.
They're not.
He never dropped a turd.
They're not letting
Hulk Hogan.
Hulk Hogan Johns did.
Hulk Hogan dropped plenty of turds.
No, he didn't. Which ones?
Those ones he had after all that sushi, brothers.
Sashimi, bro.
I mean,
he felt like a fat pig.
In some ways, the Geoff Johns Hulk Hogan comparison is apt.
I don't think you can say that Geoff Johns dropped any books that were legit bad.
Oh, I'm not saying that. I'm saying
that's what Cale said.
I don't think you're being objective.
Why not? I enjoyed them. How am I not being objective?
I didn't.
I thought they were great. I thought they were great. And even if they weren't great, right? Like if the barometer's not great or trash, right? Like it could have just been okay. You hated it. I loved it. If you're saying that I'm not objective, I'm saying you're not objective. If it's somewhere in the middle, that's not trash.
What I'm trying to say is that the issue is that he's stealing someone's thunder. Williamson has been building this whole multiversal conflict thing, and then let's bring Geoff Johns in to kind of take that. He's taking the main character in his current Justice League Incarnate run, the two main characters. He's taking one of them for this book. And
love it.
Probably dehumanizing him again some more, because Williamson's making Thomas Wayne, grow as a character, especially after the Tom King stuff. Like, this character is grizzled and he's kind of getting softer. Matt says Geoff Johns' Superman with JRJR is trash. So
Speaking of which, let's let the live commenters have some say so here. So Matt Murphy said, "Do you guys remember the Geoff Johns isn't racist, his wife is black argument?" Yes, and that will always be bullshit. That will always be ridiculous. You can, just because you have a black friend doesn't mean you can't be racist, right?
Yeah, we have a black member on the podcast. Cale. We can't be racist,
right? Yeah. Well, no, that's not true. Shoot, I could be. I'm not, but let's see. Kef is 100% accurate, Sean, as always, of course. Thank you. The Medic, the book that must not be named. I name it, I just can't remember it. Hermes Pip, has any of his stories mattered as of recently? You know what? That's a great question, and I'm glad you asked it, because that is a fair point. I think that's an absolutely fair point.
Sorry, can you say it again?
Has any of his stories mattered as of recently? So he's asking, have any of Geoff Johns' stories been relevant?
Yeah, I think the story about Ray Fisher is real relevant. It's relevant to the horrible things that people of color have to deal with in Hollywood, but he didn't write that one. I mean, in a way he did.
Does it matter?
Did it matter? No, Doomsday Clock was supposed to, but that came out at a time where DC was in an extreme state of turmoil. The war between Geoff Johns, Tom King, and Dan Didio was real. And it was so real that we lost a lot of things. There was a lot of drama. And one of the things that we lost is the relevance of Doomsday Clock. It no longer matters. In fact, it kind of got sent to the shadow realm while it was coming out. Like, it was weird how that worked out. So to your point, no, they haven't mattered. Part of that is also due to the fact that Geoff Johns has been busy in Hollywood. And so he's not available to do something timely, which is why he's not the only writer on this book that's coming out, the Flashpoint Beyond. Hopefully that answers your question. Matt said, this is like me telling Sean 5 years ago that Jerry Duggan was a Marvel pillar at the time. Okay, so I don't remember that, but actually I kind of do. But do you still believe that was true? Do you believe that Jerry Duggan was a pillar 5 years ago?
Give him time.
I don't think I do. I do.
No, I think he was saying he would become a pillar. He said this 5 years ago. Yeah.
I see. Okay. Do you guys think that that's true now?
I don't think there are pillars right now with Marvel. I think there is one pillar that is holding
and
a whole
now he's
line.
Gone.
But,
No, you can't, bro. You're gonna tell me Donny Cates is not a pillar of Marvel?
I mean,
Come on.
Yeah, okay.
Close.
All right.
Yeah.
It's close, yeah.
Jason Aaron.
Jonathan Hickman, Jason Aaron, Chip Zdarsky, and Donny Cates.
Those are the pillars of Marvel. Stormbreakers. Okay.
That's for the artists. That's for the artists. Young Guns Stormbreakers for the artists. No, Marvel has pillars. Marvel is set up the way it generally has been for as long as I've been reading comics.
It's funny that we're talking about Marvel in this, because I think the move for Geoff Johns, if he really wants to revitalize his career, do something at Marvel, make that turn, and then see what could be done there. Because I don't think
I'd read that.
I think it would be a draw. It would totally be a draw. I don't know if he's kind of tarnished his name a bit. I think he does need to do something to fix that. He's not doing anything to fix it. It's not like he's doing work that is so good that everyone can forget about that. And he just eclipses Ray Fisher's career, which unfortunately seems to have happened in and of itself. But he needs to kind of it is not hard to just say, hey, not what I meant to do, but apparently I made you feel that way. I apologize. Just a public apology. It's so simple. But some people are like, I'm too afraid to do that, or I don't really care enough to do that. It's either you're too afraid or you don't care enough. And I think he needs to fix something there.
Well, he probably took from the Joss Whedon school, and he just, Whedon told him not to say anything. He went, "Oh, great, that seems to have worked out for him."
Yeah.
Yeah, he's banished as well. So
it's a shadow realm where they send all these sex pests,
they send all racists, sex pests, and
I feel like Maximilian Pegasus would be both of those.
Yeah, and bad Yu-Gi-Oh players, bad card players.
See you guys. Hang out with Weevil.
From Beyond the Stars said, quote, "We have a black member on the podcast. We can't be racist. Y'all called 2 hate crimes in this podcast today. Blame Tyler and Cale." Matt
hey,
said,
I'm the minority here. You can't.
Well, Matt Murphy said, "No, I meant at the time Sean was 100% right." Thank you, Matt. I appreciate you admitting that.
Can't shame can't be anymore.
I'm still right because Jerry Duggan is not a pillar of Marvel.
Yeah, what else are you wrong about?
Nothing.
All right.
He's wrong about that Krakoa threesome, that's for sure.
Oh, yeah. Okay, there you go.
Hermes Pip said, "Also, I do think Flashpoint Beyond will sell, or whatever that book is called. It will sell. I think it'll sell." And that's and I appreciate you bringing us back to that point, because I think that is kind of the most. I don't want to say the most important. It's not the most important. The most important point here is that Geoff Johns is allegedly racist. But if we can put that aside, right,
Sean? I'm not laughing at racism. I will never laugh at racism.
I think you think racism is funny, just like crime is funny.
Crime can be funny. Crime can be fun. Justified crime can be funny. Matt knows what I'm talking about. All right, no. Go ahead.
All right. No comment on whether you think racism is funny?
Not funny.
Okay, good. You have to
racism
put that out there.
Is horrible.
Nice. But I think the most important question here is really like whether Geoff Johns has the clout and the star power to sell comics in 2022. And I think he does. I think that no matter where you are, right? Like whether Geoff Johns is in DC, whether he's in Marvel, as Tyler said, Image, whatever. I think that in comics, Geoff Johns will sell. I firmly believe that. First of all, there are people who do not care about whether or not he's a racist. There are people who hope he is. Look at like Ethan Van Sciver, right?
The Facebook comic book groups I'm in, they don't care about that stuff.
Right. It doesn't matter. If anything, it's a plus. Those people will buy. Those people will buy Geoff Johns' work. You know, like look at what happens. Look at what happened with the artist from Immortal Hulk. Joe was it? I can't remember.
Good.
But he ended up he got outed, right? He's got support. He's got a ton of support. Look at the colorist from Son of Kal-El that went on that rant about the book and Superman's son being gay and how he hated it. He got ousted. He leaked it. And then now he's got a ton of support from Comicsgate. So there is support for people like that. But beyond that, go ahead.
Are you saying John should lean into it?
No, I don't say that. Okay. That I don't say.
Okay, good.
What I am saying is that if there's ambiguity about it, that's okay.
That's okay for it to be for people to buy.
Yes, that's okay for him, for his career.
Yeah.
In the sense that in comics, people will still buy it. That's I believe it, and I have that feeling because his books still sell. He's put out books since the Ray Fisher allegations. They're doing fine.
Yeah, Giger.
Yeah.
Geiger.
Geiger.
I think it's like a Geiger meter. Yeah, not like H.R. Giger.
So I think if he were to go to Marvel, that'd be really exciting. And I think there would be people who would rightly call him out for what he's been accused of. But I think that I don't think it would be so bad that Marvel would not be able to publish a Geoff Johns book that would sell. I don't. Avengers #1 by Geoff Johns will sell.
I also think that would be a good point for him to address it in some way.
He won't.
Yeah. Like at this point, just addressing it out of the blue, a little weird. That seems like damage control. But if you're doing it, I don't know. Maybe that is damage control if he did it with a press release. But yeah, no, I think he needs to do something about it.
I want him to.
Yeah,
I want him to.
He can
I just don't think
the supporting character to this Flashpoint book. There we go. Problem solved. Racism ended.
Do it.
There we go.
Do it in the book. Absolutely, I completely agree. And by the way, he did have some black characters in Geiger, so
it's true. The two main ones, really.
Yeah, trying to go a different way. I don't know. I think the jury's out on Johns. I think that we will have to see what happens with Flashpoint Beyond. Again, the fact that he is not the only credited writer on anything past the Zero issue is not a good sign. And I don't know how you can judge the sales of that book if he ain't writing it. You know, you could say, well, his name being on it should be enough, but if the quality's not there, can you blame him if he's not writing it?
You got to put his name really big on the cover there.
He Flashpoint was his, wasn't it? Didn't he? Yep. Didn't he write it?
Yep.
Yeah.
You guys ever do a Blackest Night book club?
Nope.
Interesting.
If we're gonna do that, we should probably do.
We better fucking get started.
We should probably do the rest of the Green Lantern stuff.
Oh, okay. Never mind. We're not doing that. We're not. No, we're good.
Why not?
That's too much.
Why not? Yeah. All right.
That much money.
Fair enough. So yeah, I think we can leave it there as far as Geoff Johns goes. We'll jump into the comments on Twitch before we close out. Hermes Pip says, y'all think the Snyder stands that are canceling Geoff Johns buy comics?
Which Snyder are we talking about?
I'm assuming Zach.
Okay.
First of all, I think Zack Snyder stands don't like Geoff Johns.
They don't like living.
Well, hey, I like Zach and I like to live some days. I
don't like Zach and I don't like living. Interesting.
Liking Zack Snyder means you like living.
Interesting.
So I think that my thing is just that I don't think the comics fans care enough.
I was going to say, I don't think people buy comics.
Well,
like in the grand scheme of things.
But. I think it's more likely that Geoff Johns will be canceled outright if he were accused of some kind of like sexual misconduct than if he were accused of racism.
Yeah.
That's how I feel. Hermes said also well assessed by putting Cyborg in the book, which was the same idea that Tyler had. And then Redrin Vaith said 100%. Redrin, I haven't seen your name here yet. Welcome.
Yep.
Yes, thank you for joining us. Make sure you hit that follow button, please. We appreciate it. So the jury's out. You guys have the last word on what is going on with Geoff Johns, whether his reign is over. Sound off in the comments wherever it is that you're listening to this podcast. Make sure that you guys head on over to youtube.com/thecomicspals. Hit that subscribe button for free. Like the video, share it with your friends. All that stuff's free to do, and it helps us out a lot more than it costs you. We are above 500 subscribers, which means we are now on the road to 1,000 subscribers, for which, if we hit that within a year, Cale will do a backflip for us. If we do it in 6 months, he'll do it live on the show. So let's get that done so we can see Cale whisked off in a stretcher on an ambulance.
Yeah.
So
my bones explode.
Yeah, he's riding off for
that. Also, make sure that you join our Discord. The comments section of Twitch, if you guys are enjoying that interaction, most of those people are from our Discord. These are the loyal fans that follow us, that really support, who are on our Discord. We have great conversations over there. So come hang out with us over there. If you want to join us live, we go live every Saturday at around 10:15 to do the show. So come hang out with us on Saturday mornings. Again, that's 10:15. And then Wednesdays for Pals Pulls at 6 p.m. We really appreciate you guys who come and hang out with us. It's a lot of fun. I've had a blast today. I hope you guys have enjoyed the show. Saga Book Club. Make sure you show up for that. Get your reread done. Get your first read done. Cale is modeling the book once again for you guys watching on YouTube. That is the last Tuesday of the month. So that will be the 25th of January is when we will be dropping the Saga Book Club. Get your questions in for it, wherever it is that you can leave us a comment, and we will address those questions on the air during that book club. Let's get into the plugs. Cale.
You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at TotoInto. That's TOTOINTOW. You can find my work at caleward.com. That's CALEWARD.com. What do I do? I work all the time, so I don't really do anything. So cool. All right, never mind.
All right, Tyler.
You could follow me at the Tyler Olson on Instagram and Twitter. And yeah, that's I might be doing some little streams on the channel throughout the week. I got a new capture card coming in, so I might play around with that if you guys want to see some non-comic stuff. I was thinking of maybe playing some DC Lego on my PlayStation, so they keep it a little topical. I just downloaded it, so just gotta wait for that capture card.
Gonna play a cyborg the whole time.
Yeah, that's how I'll end racism.
Yep.
Maybe we can play some HOTS, Heroes of the Storm.
I was playing it last night. Not well, but I was playing it.
All right, I'm with it, man. I remember the stitches. Follow Marco, Mr. Marco, at Mr. Marco Edimoto on Twitter. He's going to talk to you about some weeb shit. Ignore it.
Some weeb shit.
As for me, you can follow me on Twitter and Instagram only at Sean Soapbox. Hit me up to talk about X-Men. I want to talk more about the X-Men. I always want to talk about the X-Men. I want to start an X-Men podcast. How about that? I'm jealous of the Explain the X-Men people. They talk about X-Men every week. Although we talk about X-Men every week. So, whatever. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Thank you to all of you who tuned in live. We appreciate you guys so much. Until next week, we are the Comics Pals signing off. Take care, guys.
Bye-bye.
See you next week.